Damn, I'm oily as hell. Oh, we're live. Okay. Are we live?
Now we're
Yeah, we're live. Okay, what's going on, everyone? We're live. I'm here with my friend Richard. This is your host, Angel Carrillo, and damn, what was I gonna say? Okay, anyways, this is your host, Angel Carrillo. My bad. It's weird going live for the first time ever. Anyways, yeah, I'm your youngest alleged podcast host. Your first youngest alleged podcast host ever. And but yeah, let's get this started. Anyways, so the first thing we want to talk about is
why we're doing this podcast.
yeah, the why the podcast.
Yeah, why?
So why the podcast? I don't know. I guess I just wanted to make like a platform where I could just be transparent because I think that's something a lot of people look forward to now,
Yeah.
and it's like it's something honest and it's not something that's hidden. I don't know. I don't know what would you have to say about that?
I mean, not much of the podcast really, because this is our first podcast, and
Yeah.
we're testing out how we're gonna work this platform.
Yeah, we're testing out everything right now. And sorry if we look oily and stuff. It's all in the small room. Anyways, I do have a lot of goals for the podcast. We'll go on about the questions everyone asked in like a good 30 minutes. We have Gilbert. He's gonna come in a couple minutes as well. Um, I'm treating it. I'm treating this more like a video. I can see that right now, but I'm trying to treat it more like a podcast. Anyways, yeah, we're gonna answer the questions later on in the bit. We have a lot of good questions. For now, we're just gonna talk about us, why the podcast. So first, the podcast. I guess my main goals are also let me know if like the feedback is or if the audio is pretty good. If I need to fix anything, I would really appreciate it. Anyways, so why the podcast and what are my goals for the podcast?
Yeah.
So this is the typical podcast. This is episode one, and it's with you, and later on it's gonna be with Gilbert. But I have goals written down here where I want to have, you know, yeah, I want to have like a majority of interesting people on here. So I want to have, like animators, chefs,
Artists.
yeah, artists and all this other stuff. And I already have a lot of people actually planned on to come on the podcast for like next week and so on, which is pretty exciting because I didn't expect like all that
Yeah.
feedback. Um, yeah, so I already have like my goal is eventually is to have like have a studio so I can actually run something professionally and actually have some more interesting guests on. Which is that's not like well obviously I don't want anyone boring.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone boring. But I do want interesting people like I have considered like having like psychologists on,
Professor.
yeah, professors. I have it written down where I actually want to have, you know, I want to have yeah, I want to have community college deans come on. I have a yeah, I have like all these goals of wanting to get people on. That's more later on though when I have
More like successful people. And
yeah. So for now, that is one of the goals. But I think just to make it natural now, because I feel like it's more intense. How's life been for you?
honestly, it's been doing quite well. Like right now, I'm working at a supermarket. I have a
All right,
recent,
all right.
but
What about this? How has life been since after high school? like
what?
if you had to explain everything
Yeah.
after high school, how would you explain everything?
Honestly, I felt lost for a good moment.
Yeah.
There we go. But then I entered community college, and it was pretty decent enough there. I did well.
Are you still in community college?
Right now, no.
Yeah, yeah,
Right
okay,
now,
okay.
no.
So one of the first things is I dropped out. I don't know about this guy. Did you
I'm
drop out?
not fully, maybe 50-50. Maybe I will, but
Okay.
I'm taking a quick break from community college in general
Yeah.
because,
Do you not know what you want to do?
but of course, I want to be at least a border patrol or police officer in life. But for now,
So you're trying to be the scumbag
nah,
ICE. I'm
no,
just
no,
kidding.
that's
No,
something
I'm just
else.
kidding.
That's
We're gonna
exciting.
talk about that later about ICE. Someone actually asked a question about ICE.
Yeah, pretty.
Yeah, it's a pretty good question. Anyways, so I'm sorry, you're saying about college and
Yeah, working. I'm doing like criminal justice to get a degree on that.
okay. Can you say you're doing online classes?
Yeah, but I done finished with that. So right now I'm just like taking a quick break from that.
Yeah, no, I get you. I mean, for me, if I were to describe after high school, it was probably like the most lost I've ever been. Obviously,
Lost.
Yeah, lost, depressing. Uh,
Can you elaborate why depressing?
okay, well, first it was actually exciting because I was like, ooh, college, like community college. That's something everyone talks about. Even when you're in high school, everyone talks about going stepping into college and
Yeah.
how it's like a whole fresh start or something like that. So I was like ready for that, and so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna kick ass like in all my classes, and for the most part, I did. I got pretty good grades on my essays and all that
Yeah.
stuff, but it was depressing because I was like, okay, it's not making me happy. Like I'm not here, or I guess I'm not there getting like I'm trying to articulate my words. So I wasn't happy at first.
Mm. Is it because
I
the
mean,
work?
okay, my bad. No, so I was happy. I was happy because I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get all this stuff done, and I for the most part I got all my homework. I guess I would say I was like an all-star student. I
Mm.
was doing all my work, but then eventually I was just like, okay, I don't really feel like I'm gonna be a. I guess my goals there was to go in there for acting,
Yeah.
but I decided I didn't want to do anything with acting. I guess in movies or something like that, I would do that for videos, but acting, and then since I crossed that off my list, I was like, oh, I do want to write some books, or I do want to.
So be like an author.
Yeah, yeah, and I still do have that goal of like actually writing novels. I still like here and there write down stuff. I was just checking it. Anyways, yeah, I still do have like goals of becoming an author and just writing books, but I don't essentially I don't necessarily think you really need a degree for that. I definitely know
Yeah.
a lot of authors. I mean, obviously you can argue that yeah, they were like really smart and stuff like that, but that's not to say I'm not going to practice at writing stuff. Like I know what it takes to write a book. Or at least I have an idea, and
Yeah.
that just means like you have to write shit to come up with gold.
A really
Anyways,
good story.
yeah, and for the most part, when I've like told my stories, or explained it to like some people, um, not I'm not trying to sound like oh wow like you can do it or something like that. But I mean, for me, I think the only thing that matters is like if it's interesting to me, I feel like it'll be interesting to other people, and that's like I don't want to sound arrogant or anything about that. Anyways, yeah, so I took an English class, and I just decided it's not for me. Like I don't think this essay or anything is gonna help me. Sure, it's like helping me like come up with a better essay and stuff like that,
Mm.
but like I don't think my classes are helping me out with things I want to do in life. And I actually dropped out twice. Oh, I Oscar said something. Colleges have a way of eating it. Yeah, yeah, it does. Yeah, we'll get on about that later when Gilbert comes. We have a lot to talk about that. Um, yeah, and basically, I just recall first I was really happy and excited. It was just like I was like I had a lot of boost to get good grades because it's like you kind of step in like a lost puppy. You're just like,
Yeah.
wow, like a community college that this can take me to university.
Like experience.
Yeah, like a new experience, basically. And it's just crazy how like within a month I realized I don't want to do this. And plus, what made it more depressing and more lost is I like decided before I dropped out is wow, I'm really depressed. Um, Gilbert was also telling me about this, how he was actually depressed too, and I was like,
Yeah.
it sounds weird, but I was happy for that because no here because I finally like found out oh shoot I'm not alone, like I was also depressed and all that
Yeah.
stuff, like I felt like all this anxiety because and the reason I felt more lost and alone is because I felt like I was following this pattern everyone else is following as well. I was like dude I'm not happy in college and like I don't really feel like I need to be successful to be in college. And so I kind of went on this little journey of like asking people hey why are you in college. It was kind of like I wanted more like people's patterns, and because I mean this whole time it's kind of like a social conditioning thing for teachers to tell you, especially around this area, for teachers to tell you, hey, college is the only way. Well, they don't necessarily say that, but they always say go to university. Like you never hear. I never heard a teacher at my school say, hey, you should try and become, do music,
Or to
like
be like
be
this.
some type of entrepreneur for yourself.
Yeah.
And basically yeah you don't really have that. If anything you just have oh like what college are you going to, what
Yeah.
community college are you going to,
Where to?
where are you transferring to. and then it kind of makes you sound like a loser when you say, "Oh, I didn't get accepted to this college,"
Mm. Or
or
you're not some like
or
you're
even
not
it,
smart enough to
or
graduate.
yeah, and even like I don't like how college dropout
Mm.
has a negative connotation
Like
when there's literally a whole bunch of people that has
bro,
made yeah, yeah, it's not even about the money. It's not, it's so I don't like define success like being like very rich. I would define it as like someone I am getting this from someone, but I really relate to it. I define success as like you're making a living out of what you're doing
yeah,
and you're happy doing it, and it's like you're always, so that's why I define success. So if I sound anywhere, if I sound anywhere like arrogant about, oh, like I think success is being rich, and obviously for me personally I have goals of becoming really rich and
yeah,
successful
a very successful.
because I want to do a lot of things, like because I've never, because I feel like I've been more, what's the word, oppressed from doing all these like fun things I've always wanted to do. Maybe that's a weird way of saying it, but my basic point is, I do have goals to like travel the world, um, make videos around the world, read books and all that stuff, and just like be a part of like a bigger community that's like some like, I guess my point is be a part of something bigger than I am,
Yeah,
and basically, I know I'm going on about
like
me too much.
get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, like I really want to do that, and I think my first step is just like with the podcast here.
Yeah,
Um, anyway, what was I going on about? I'll end my little story there, but basically, yeah, I dropped out of college twice, and I came back. The first time I dropped out, I only lasted there for a good 3 months.
mm. Like a good semester then.
Yeah, a good semester. No, no, like 2 months, maybe two
Mm.
months. Yeah, I dropped out because I just wasn't happy, and then, anyways, yeah. So I did ask people, where's like where do you see yourself going, or why are you in college? And what's crazy is people are there just because their
They
parents.
told
Yeah, and it's like, and I really relate to that because I have my mom or my sister tell me, "Hey, you should go to college," or like I'll have this like look like, when are you gonna go to college again?
like
And I'm like, look, I'm trying to do my own thing here. Just stop pressuring me.
your
Like,
family members tell you like
yeah,
no,
yeah, 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 exactly. And it's like, but I get it because they've never.
gone.
I mean, in a way, to say that, it's kind of like saying they have had goals before, but they've been like pushed down. Because usually when I think of someone, uh, when I think of someone pushing down someone's goals, like someone thinks, like, let's say I thought your goals were stupid.
Yeah,
That's because I'm insecure about like my shit, and
your
it's
own.
because I let someone else push me down.
Yeah,
So that's not like the reality. Like I would honestly think like you can do a lot of things. So that's why I try to be really positive and stuff like that, because I think that's really important. Anyway, so I dropped out twice. I asked people, "Hey, why are you in college?" The majority were like, "Oh, well, I heard being a doctor or being in trying to think of a real specific time, like real specific times." The majority, it's kind of all just sounds like one whole big whole like pattern, so that's why it's so general. But it's just like, "Oh, I want to make this amount of
my money.
money,"
Be
and
successful in life.
and look, I get that, but is that gonna make you happy? And are you really doing that for yourself? For the most part, they weren't.
Mm.
I remember I came across, I forgot her name, but I saw her a good 2 months ago, and I had told her that I dropped out, and she was like, "Wow, you're lucky." Yeah, and she's like, "Wow, you're," and I'm like, "Why haven't you dropped out?" And she's like, "Because I have a mom,"
Mm.
and I'm like. So basically, you're fulfilling your mom's wishes and not yours, and that's why I believe there's like so much depression in school. It's crazy. Or, I mean, not, there's so much depression in the. I know there's like a high. I don't know what the statistic is, but there's a high statistic saying I think like 80% of people, or a good, I don't know, a good amount of percentage is depressed out
Yeah,
there, and I get that, because there's a lot of people in community college and university, especially university. We'll get on that right now. That are just fulfilling their parents' wishes. They're not doing what they
they
want to
want to.
do. For me,
They're all
it
depressed by doing this.
yeah, because you're doing like, yeah, exactly. So when Gilbert said he felt lost, I really relate to that because I felt lost because I was like, dude, like I don't. like this whole time I've been told to always go to college, and that's how I'll be successful. And if I can't find anything in college, then I won't be happy or anything like that. Excuse me. Does anyone ask anything? Let me see what Oscar's saying. It's true in today's society, the youth are brainwashed into believing like, yeah, yeah, the college mandatory next step you must take after high school, or else you see. Yeah, exactly. See, that's my point. I want to remove. Maybe I'll talk about my brand a bit, my secret
Yeah.
project.
Project.
But anyways, I my goal in life, like ever since dropping out and just like wanting to do videos and stuff, an essential goal of mine has been to change this thing of to change the context. No, wasn't what I'm trying to say. The negative connotation of college, like correlating with like loser, because there's a lot of people out there that dropped out of college or just didn't even go to college. Like when you think of Post Malone or uh,
Kanye.
yeah, or Kanye or anything like that. Like they dropped out of college and stuff like. And I'm not like comparing myself to them. Obviously, they obviously they worked really hard to do what they want. But that's what I want to do with the podcast as well. Is like I want to work hard to eventually get some really interesting guests here. Like it'd be cool if I can get like
Yeah, like professors,
yeah,
physicists.
like I want to get professors, musicians, and all that stuff on the podcast. And I figure why not start now rather than because originally I was gonna delay this until the November. Yeah, I was gonna delay this until November, but I'm just like, you know what? I want to do the podcast now. I want to talk about things now, and kind of just market my thing. And anyways, yeah, I guess my goal in life is to remove this negative connotation of col- college dropout equals loser. No, I want to make it. I want to make it the like quite the
Yeah,
opposite, where it's just like
you can still be successful without a college.
yeah, and I'm not. And so I guess I can see how talking about this, it's like I'm against college. No, there's a lot of things I believe that you should go to college. Like if you want to be, like I don't know, like a doctor of any type, like a psychologist or anything like that, you should go to college. If you want to be an engineer, if you want to be anything like business related, I'm not sure about business. That's like a weird gray area
Yeah, like
because other people have made it out there without going to college. Um, what was another one? Yeah, so I had
working in space or
oh
anything
yeah,
like
or
that.
yeah, or anything. Yeah, basically anything engineering type or wanting to be a lawyer. I get that. If anything, yeah, go to college. But I think when you think about someone that wants to do music, if you want to learn the history of music, go ahead. But I'm saying, uh, usually when you think of someone that wants to do music, I don't. I highly doubt they want to learn the history because they want to make music. They don't want to learn. I
Learn
mean,
about it, but they
yeah,
don't want
yeah,
to do it.
yeah. It's like sure, it's interesting to learn about music and all that stuff, but I doubt someone that wants to learn more about music, because the majority of the time, as I see, when you take a music class, sometimes it'll just mainly be about the history of it, or basically when you're doing an art class or something like that, it'll also like they'll go. I remember I took acting classes, and all we were talking about was we're just talking about the history of acting stuff like that. And then, like
So
to me, it's not interesting. I'm sure to someone it would be interesting, but dude, it was just like so boring. I fell asleep like most of the time. And then when I started to see how less attention I was, like how much less I was paying attention to the class, I'm just like, dude, if I don't feel like this is useful to me, or if I don't think this is interesting at all,
then why am I
yeah, why
here?
am I here? I'm literally wasting my time here when I could be doing something I actually love and enjoy.
Yeah,
I don't know. I guess I just believe in more of I think you should do what you want to do and you should go for it, and just don't let anyone push you down. I'm just checking if anyone has said anything. Anyways, yeah, I feel like you should just do what you want, but that's not to say that college is bad. No, actually,
it's not bad at all.
I don't. I don't think college is bad. I think college is a good thing. It's just not for me, and it's just not for like people I've been talking to. What was I gonna say?
I guess like college is not cut out for
I
some
I, I
people.
don't yeah I don't want to promote dropping out of college. I just want to promote self awareness and some an entrepreneur I know no an entrepreneur I have I'm following on Instagram. His name's Gary Vee, and that's kind of correlated with the brand I'm coming up with, which I'm not really talking about it too much, but I will like throughout because it's like it's I don't know. I feel like it's a really explosive idea, and I'm like really going hard on it. Anyways, yeah, I don't want to promote dropping because there's a lot of things you should stay in college for if you really want to listen. Like, yes, it provides education. I mean, the list goes on. That's all I can say. It just provides whatever you want to learn. But I just want to promote self awareness where people should understand, why they're there. I want to stop the social conditioning of this is the only way to be successful. This is the only thing that's gonna make you happy. I really want to make the twist here and be like, no, if you drop out of college, you should have a plan because that's why I dropped out twice. Because the first time I dropped out of college, uh, I didn't have a plan. I was just
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm just gonna practice piano,
You know,
see
do
where that takes me.
just do your own thing.
Yeah,
See
and
what's going
then
on.
yeah, and it was like, oh my god, it was so depressing, dude. And I'm like, all right, this is working out. I'll give college another
Another
chance,
and when you went back,
dude. I went back and I'm like, I'm trying to recall what classes I took. I'm trying to recall what classes I took. I think I took like, um, man, what the fuck did I take? I don't think I took English. I just took. I think that's when I took another acting class. Just I was thinking, oh, maybe it was just the teacher I didn't like. Uh, it's the same thing with math.
then it happened again. That
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
didn't
And then I
feel
was just like,
satisfied.
yeah, I can't recall what classes I took, but I just do remember it just didn't make me happy, and I was bored. One, I was bored, and then like two, I was like, all right, if I'm gonna do this, let's say I do go all out. Let's say I don't. I even gave myself the scenario. Let's say I go all out. I still. Oh, that's right. I took psychology and all that stuff. Yeah. So I said, all right. Let's say I go all out and I don't stop, and because I actually saw myself going into university, I was actually getting good grades. Sounds like a humble brag, I guess, but it's whatever's. Um, I was actually getting good grades. I took psychology. I was getting for the most part just A's in my tests and stuff like that because I was giving myself this motivation saying, oh, I can do really good at this. I'm actually reading books now, and I know I can get into university. But more and more throughout the semester, I was just getting more depressed again. Just feeling more lost because I was like, all right, if I go all on this, let's say I do get into a university that I want to, but why would I be doing that if it's not making me happy? Obviously I was happy for like the grades I was getting, but I wasn't like happy with. I find psychology interesting, but I don't picture myself being like a psychologist. Yeah,
Just doing the
Let me see. Tyler. Oh yeah, Ty Lopez talks about college, and the truth is that many go to college and get a degree, but then a degree. Yeah, yeah, yeah. See, that's what I want to talk about too. There's a lot of this correlates with like liberal arts, liberal arts college. Do you know too much? Do you know about that? So a liberal arts college, I can't really think of one on the top of my head, but for an example, like a dance, a, like a degree in, I'm not sure if that's a thing, in dance or in art.
mm, I know
Yeah, when it
learn
comes to
about
degrees like
dance.
that, that doesn't really get like that
Yeah.
doesn't really get you a job. I mean, you can put that in your resume.
Yeah, but it doesn't really
In
affect.
reality,
Yeah,
nobody gives a shit about your liberal arts degree,
I know.
and it's like you literally wasted all this time. I wouldn't consider it a waste. You learned,
but
but in reality, you did not like that's not really somewhere
that
you
take
could
you anywhere in
really
life.
apply that to anywhere. So that's why it's I don't know. It's a gray area. It's a weird. I don't know. It's a gray area. It's crazy because yeah, you. I've had people tell me that they'll have a degree in this, and I've even seen it too. They have a degree. I can't think of the top of my head, but yeah, they have a degree, but they're out here working at McDonald's or somewhere in the mall or something like that.
Like a little like outlet.
Yeah,
It's
and that's like a shame, kind of.
is it helping out for you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Look. If you like living average, go ahead.
Like if you want to be big and like
Yeah, if you want to be big in life, or if you, I don't know, if you want to spend your time productively, I don't know, if you want to just go ahead and just live an average life, sure, go ahead. I don't, there's nothing wrong. But I guess my argument against that is, if you're living an average life, you can't ask for much. Like, you're in no position to ask for much. Like, oh, I want a big house, or I want a big,
No, no.
I want like a hot girlfriend or something. Like, who the hell's gonna give you that?
Yeah.
Who the hell's gonna give you that when you're out here just working at, I don't know, I guess Jack in the Box or something like that?
Like, you're not gonna get that. You need to
Heck,
work
yeah,
on it.
yeah, you need to work hard. I was just checking in. Anyways, so I guess back to college, and like I said, I have nothing against college.
Me either.
I just have this. The only thing I have against is just promoting the idea how it's the only way. But I'm liking how I'm seeing nowadays. I like how I'm seeing nowadays where people are taking the stand and just doing what they love to do. Like, you see, like, I think right now is like the biggest time where a lot of people are just becoming YouTubers, and it's like becoming really inflated with them. For the most part, some of them are cancerous, like,
Cringe
yeah,
worthy.
really cringy. And which my goal is to not be one of them.
I know.
But I mean, I'm just gonna do my best. I'm gonna do me. But
I think it's best to do yourself.
yeah, just do yourself.
No.
Honestly, just don't compare yourself to others. Anyways, yeah, I think now right now is like a best time to become an entrepreneur. Back then, it's like it's weird. Even now, it's weird. Like, especially here when I want to do YouTube here, I have like people give me like weird looks or something like that, and I get it, because like it's weird here too. Like, you don't have anyone here in like San Diego wanting to do YouTube,
Yeah.
or
It's like a really small.
yeah, like I don't know anyone here that does YouTube, so I kind of find myself like pretty lost. But that is kind of where you start off. Like, I don't know, I do picture.
Yeah, you have to start somewhere.
Yeah, you have to start off somewhere, and I don't really think it matters where you're coming from, as long as you're just doing you. You know, you have your own little thing, and you're just working hard, and you're just always trying to improve. So I think right now is like the best time to, and I think when people think of entrepreneurship, they think of trying to sell something. But no, I mean, because that's like the first thing I think of entrepreneurs, just trying to
So,
sell.
like things to people.
Yeah, like sales marketing and stuff like that. No, entrepreneur is just working for yourself,
Yeah.
and it's just, I mean, essentially, kind of, it really goes along with not being in college. I mean, I'm pretty sure you can be in college and be an entrepreneur, but why would you do that? I
Yeah.
don't
Exactly. Why?
I don't really get that. But anyways, so yeah, I have nothing against college. I feel like that's something I'm always gonna have to be explaining, because yeah, I really don't have anything against college. If you really want to do these, like, I have friends. Excuse me. I have friends that are in college, and they look like they know like what they want to do. I'm like, hell yeah, dude! Like, do you? I'm not gonna shame anyone. If anything, I'm encouraging them to stay with. If they're happy doing what they're doing, I want them to do that. But if they're like, oh, I'm just here because of my parents, I'm just here because I'm trying to do something to make money, that's not gonna make you happy. And
Yeah,
if
it's not
anything,
gonna
that's gonna just add you to the statistic of not being happy and just being depressed. And for the most part, also, when I say I want to promote self awareness, at least take classes where you're gonna enjoy. I remember I took this one class. It was man, it was man, I can't remember. It was basically trying to find your career.
Yeah.
I forget what it was called.
Like a program? Was it a program?
Yeah, no, no, no. It was a class.
Oh,
It
okay.
was actually a course, and I remember I was at the zone of when I was always reading a book a day. Um, um, which that didn't last too long. It lasted like a good 2 months of like just reading and stuff like. But then I found out in that course they were just saying there's a test you can take in that course where it kind of shows you, oh, hey, like, what are you into, what type of stuff are you, what are you about, what do you like to do.
Yeah, hobbies,
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah,
But
yeah. And then so it basically says, oh, you're at the very end it just said, oh, like, you're like, you should be going to a liberal arts college. And I remember at first I was like excited, I'm like, oh, that sounds awesome. But then I was thinking, okay, but what am I gonna do at a liberal arts college? Just
exactly.
learn? Like, what am like where are my skills gonna go?
With this liberal arts
Yeah,
degree,
with this liberal
what's
arts
this gonna
degree.
do for me?
Yeah, and I remember that's when I became way more depressed, and I was just really questioning. Like, I say really depressed. I was obviously I'm like a lot happier now that I dropped out and I'm doing this. Like just doing the podcast itself is making me happy. Um, even if this is the first episode, like I do feel happy now doing it. I'm happy.
Good. I'm really, really happy.
No. But this is something obviously I was nervous earlier, but now it's like it feels more natural.
Yeah,
But I do feel a more
you feel comfortable.
yeah, I feel a more comfortable approach to this than I did in college. In college, I just didn't feel like I know what I was doing, even if I was getting really good grades. And oh, come in. Hey, I think we got Gilbert in here. Do we?
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, we're live right now. We're live. Anyways, anyways, if you want to sit here, I'll open up the door a little bit. Anyways, what were we saying? Bring me back on track.
How college is making you feel stuff.
Yeah, and my bad if it's stuff in here. We have Gilbert here. Oh shoot, my bad. Anyways, we were basically saying how college for basically how like the process of the experience of going through college. Yeah, I know. Anyways, um, and how basically depressing it was for the very because I dropped out of college twice. Don't give too much attention to the camera. We're actually getting good at getting natural at this.
Yeah.
Well, I just got here. So
Okay.
I'm gonna fight Richard.
Okay.
Anyways, all right. I guess to end the college discussion, I'll just say this: like, I have nothing against college. I just want to promote self awareness and just change this stigma of it not being a negative thing. Like, you're not a loser if you drop out of college, and you should be fighting for just doing what you want to do in college. Like, I have people that go to college, and I'm promote like they look like they know what they want to do, and that's great. Like, I want them to continue that path. Um, so that's to say I have nothing against college. That's pretty much it. We went on like a good like 10 minutes. It was really good.
25 minutes.
Yeah, it was really good. I actually felt like it was a really productive talk. Um. Anyways, how are you doing?
Good.
Pretty good.
Well,
Do you feel unnatural? Do you feel uncomfortable right now?
a little bit. I mean, it's
Okay,
just like
okay.
I've had like a crazy day today. It's like,
Okay.
and now I'm just here. Like,
Okay.
hello.
That's okay.
In the video.
See, I feel more natural because I was talking a lot.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I feel much
okay.
better
I guess I'll just ask you questions just to get you comfortable and stuff. So how are your like feelings with college, and I noticed you're taking like a harder step on becoming more. Alone. I noticed you're taking a harder step on just becoming more entrepreneur. Like
Yeah.
you're like promoting that, and I saw your recent post of you don't need college to be successful. I don't know. You want to explain more about that? Like your position in college. Oh no, actually, this was the first question. It was the
So
first,
what's
no,
the
no,
question?
no, no. It's related to that. I basically want to ask, what's like your difference now, your feelings now when you were in high school
Yeah.
compared to college, like now? You could say cringy or anything like that. Your thought process of everything.
Honestly, like I think it's the same.
Yeah.
With the only difference that now I actually went through a year of college,
Mhm.
and now I actually know what it's like. So it kind of backs up the thoughts that I had already in high school,
Mhm.
which was like I always thought like, oh, like I don't think I need to go to college
Mhm.
to make a living for myself,
Yeah.
to do what I like, and necessarily to learn anything, because you can learn, like, maybe your passion doesn't lie in a school. Maybe your passion isn't sitting in a classroom for 8 hours a day.
Yeah. No.
Like, yeah, I feel like you can learn. Well, there's obviously like exceptions. Like, you can't really be a doctor if you drop out. Like,
Yeah,
there's
we're
exceptions.
we're talking about there like if you want to be an engineer, if you want to be like a lawyer or something like that, then of course go ahead. But we're saying, but if you want to learn music, that is something that yeah, I mean you can do online as well. But it's
Well,
not so much as learning, but it's also
yeah.
if you want to do music. Like I know a couple good musicians, you know, where I think like they could actually do their thing that they want to do, but you don't really need
Yeah.
college to do that. Anyways, go ahead. My
Well,
bad.
here's the thing. I feel like if you're in high school, I don't know if there's anyone in high school, but if you're in high school and you just graduated and you're questioning, should I go to college? The answer is definitely yes. Like, you're not gonna, like, if you
Yeah.
have the opportunity to do it, do
Yeah.
at least like 1 or 2 years,
Yeah.
and then see if you like it. And then if you don't like it, well, then you know it's not for
Yeah,
you.
and the thing about that is like you have all the time in the world.
Yeah.
It sounds like, I mean, for me at least, what I thought at first, it's pretty stupid thing about it now and kind of cringy. But at first I was like, dude, I don't have, like, I'm 19, but back then I'm like, shoot, I'm 19, I'm gonna turn
20.
yeah, I'm gonna get old and shit. But literally, the fact is, you do have a lot of time, and you should take the time to like figure out what. But you should be really productive with it. Like actually find out what you like. That's what I did the very first semester. I went to all these different types of classes. I try to join like clubs as well, just to try and get me more involved within the school. And obviously, like we all know the story, I dropped out.
Yeah.
But
Twice.
but that's
That's
because
right.
yes, that is right.
Gang, gang.
Yes.
Twice.
Yeah. But basically it's because I just didn't see myself in, like, I just didn't see
Yeah.
myself in a class, and that's just for me. Anyways, you were saying?
No, I was done.
Oh, you were done?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's basically what we're talking about. There are exceptions. I'm just saying if anyone comment anything. Anyways, yeah, there are exceptions.
It's like, no, okay.
No, it's because like Oscar and I
Yeah,
was just
yeah,
like, yeah, we were like having this long conversation. All right, so I guess we'll end the college thing a little bit late, but it's fine. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so this is a really good one. My friend Jessica asked this one, and I did promise I was gonna answer every question. And really, with this podcast, um, him and I were talking about it yesterday. Uh, we don't want to, or at least I don't want to be limited to things. Like, I want to be able to make this a podcast about anything I want. And I was saying earlier, like, who do I want to be on the podcast?
I got two people that asked me like, "Oh, can I be on it?"
Really? Who
Yeah,
asked you?
so it's it was Thomas.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's you'll probably watch it later.
Yeah.
And it was
Okay.
had some dude from UCSD.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, but I forgot to reply to him. But
Oh, so
I'll send them the link.
I have like two people that asked, and I asked two people, and so I already have like four guests who are gonna
Yeah.
come on, so I'm really excited. My goal is to have two podcasts a week. One with, like, I'm saying, like with
Yeah.
him or you or something like that. Just
Yeah.
have an extra podcast,
Yeah.
and then like every podcast is a new guest.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. Um, I basically want to get. I was saying earlier, of who do I want on the podcast. Eventually, I do want to get like a college professor on, and then I want to get a college dean on. Oh, community college
Yeah.
dean. That is one of my goals, because I basically want to ask them about because there is a higher statistic saying like more community college students drop out than university,
Yeah.
and I get that. I'll just go on for 5 minutes about this.
I think it's probably just more pressure.
Yeah, the pressure. is
The
very
university?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was,
Because
yeah,
I mean, you're paying
yeah,
significantly more money.
exactly. And if you drop
And,
out, it's like,
yeah.
well, bro, what the fuck? Like, you just like waste all this money getting here.
Now you're in debt.
So now, especially, I can see why there's higher depression in that.
Well, I think the main reason for that, like people that go to community college, it's not just because I know a lot of people that got accepted to universities and they just decide to go to community college because it's a more free alternative. So you're not limited to like, oh, now I have this 4 year commitment and I'm paying like $30,000
Yeah,
plus a year.
exactly. So
And with community college, it's like, well, you're more free to do whatever the fuck you want. It's more like I'm exploring who I am. I'm exploring what I love to do. So it's you have more freedom to like.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
never mind. I don't want to do this.
yeah, so I get that. So that's why when I dropped out, it was a risk, but it wasn't like a big
Yeah.
risk. So I definitely do give props to, and once again, it sounds like I'm against college, but I do give props to people who do take that big ass step of like leaving a university to pursue what they think, or like what they want to do.
Especially if they're like at a good university, because I've seen videos of people
Yeah.
like dropping out of like Stanford,
Yeah, I
dropping
know.
out of like UC Berkeley. Like, yeah, that's a
That's a big.
Oh, what about
Yeah.
this? What about, we were talking about this earlier. What about, because someone had mentioned getting a liberal arts, going to a liberal arts college, because doesn't liberal arts, I don't know, I'm not too familiar. I have like some knowledge of it, but what can you get in a liberal arts
I have
college?
no idea.
Yeah.
All I know is there's like dancing and like and art. And
That's all.
I'm belittling it a little bit, but I'm sure there's like plenty. Oh, it's for a skit. Anyways, Yeah, because someone had mentioned. A friend Carmen said, "Yo, you should, Ty Lopez, right?
Yeah,
You know how he was like,
he's gonna watch soon.
yeah,
Fucking
Thomas."
Mark. What's up, bro?
Where was I? Oh yeah, basically there are people out there with getting degrees, but their degrees don't mean shit in the real world.
Well, I think the more we advance, the more we advance in like technology and all that, like the more that even advanced degrees, like real, like I'm a computer engineer or whatever,
Yeah.
whatever it is that you like to do, the more they become useless, because the more that technology becomes harder,
Yeah.
like the more it becomes more like elaborate and fucking hard to make, the more people have to learn. So it becomes harder not only to go to university,
Yeah.
but your degree. Like if you had a degree 10 years ago in, I don't know, whatever, like computer engineering, like
Actually, useless.
it's
No.
useless now because 10 years later now we have like all these new things. So you, I mean, unless you're like in the industry, like learning and learning and learning and learning, but all the shit that you learned at university, like it's pretty much fucking useless now. Well, besides like the theory behind it, because you got to stay with the market.
Yeah,
So
no,
it's
that is true.
like, I think degrees just constantly become useless and they have to be updated anyway.
Yeah, that is true. I would say there's a certain point where, like, let's say you already, like, I feel like if you're already at a top position,
Yeah.
maybe yes, it becomes useless. Well, I mean, it's kind of like irrelevant to say, but obviously it got you somewhere. Like I would say, who am I trying to bring up? What's up?
What's up, bro?
Yo, what's going on?
Hey Thomas, when you coming on the podcast?
Hopefully soon.
I'll confirm that. I'm just kidding. All right, I think that's gonna be it. One more thing about that. I did mention with you earlier or a couple of days ago. You'll have a lot of people that are in college, and I've seen these people where they're just on their phone, and like the college professor is talking about like whatever the fuck they're
Yeah.
teaching, whatever the fuck they're teaching. And I remember I was there with my English, and so I feel like that's really crazy, and that kind of just shows more of how you should be rethinking your life. If Because I've seen people talk behind the professor, they're on their phone, and like some of the college professors, they just don't give a shit. Like,
Because
Well,
that's
but
a really
I don't think that's just in college though. Like
well,
go
no,
to like
no,
any meeting
no,
and
no, no,
people
no,
are.
no, yeah, no, that's true, that's true. But I'm saying like for the majority of the time
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
and I'm saying at least when you're in college, you're kind of paying for it.
Yeah.
So they
And-
already don't care.
yeah,
if you
yeah.
draw your phone. You're wasting your money.
Yeah, yeah. Like I feel like some of the professors even know, like they're just here for their paycheck and shit, and just so they can dip. And so I feel like that's kind of like the self awareness I want to, because those are the people that I end up seeing like that are bitching about like, oh, just being in college but not wanting to be there,
Yeah.
but they're still wasting their time, and I don't know. That's like,
Well, yeah. I mean, it depends. It depends like what. It depends on the college. It depends on
yeah,
like even the quarter. Well, for me, it's quarters. For a lot of people, it's semesters.
yeah. Oh yeah, I know. That's
But
true.
like it depends, and I don't know. Just from my experience, like I know I started really strong. My like the first two quarters, I was like all A's,
Mhm.
and then my last quarter was like shit. Like I just like completely gave up, and
Yeah.
like I was like fuck that. Like I'm not even going to class. So it depends on like what you're going through, like in your life, and there's a lot of things that play into that change your perspective on like should I be here, and like like is this a good pathway for me? Should I be in college? And I think that really fluctuates in college because it's a bunch of like 20 to 24-year olds
Yeah.
that have just like left their home and they've never experienced life before. So all these new experiences are like fuck, like you're questioning
Yeah, you don't
everything,
even know
like
how to
you're not
process.
sure of anything.
Yeah, you don't even know how to process all
Yeah,
that.
so it changes, like I don't know, it's just like we're so changing like even every single day that it's you can't really say like I want this for sure until you
That's pretty sad.
complete.
No, I'm just
What
kidding.
the
No,
fuck?
no, I'm just kidding. You know what degree I always stand with, and like, well, I will always see it always be like unlimited. Like it won't. I'm trying to find the right words, but it won't go useless. Memology. No, no, no.
Memology.
Okay, we're gonna end it right there. We're gonna end it right there. All right. So
Actually, hold on. I have two questions. I actually did.
okay, okay,
Well, they're not really questions.
Yeah.
No.
okay. We're gonna answer the questions right now. I actually have a lot of them written down, and some that I wrote down, and then some that other people wrote that messaged me on. Are the are they for me?
What?
Or are they for
No, no, no. So I only had two responses
Oh, okay. No, that's not good. It's
to
not
the story I put, and then someone said talk about 5G. You know what 5G is?
No, I'm
Okay, never
sorry.
mind. Okay, it's like the new internet
Oh.
that's coming
Oh,
faster.
oh, is it the one that they're promoting on like AT&T is by
Yeah,
5G now? And I mean, I can't talk. All I can say is that's crazy how like advanced we're getting. Has anyone said anything? What are some things you learned throughout your first years of college? Thank you, Thomas. I appreciate it.
I didn't learn.
Boy,
I didn't
I'm
learn
just kidding.
shit.
Okay, let me read that one more time. Your first years of college. Oh man,
That's a tough one.
because throughout the whole time, I was just pretty much forcing myself and just like obligating myself to learn things because I thought that was my only way.
Yeah.
Like I said, like you said earlier, how your grades were good. My grades were good as well. My grades were good as well. I was getting like A's. I was getting A's on like psychology and shit like that because I actually like forced myself to think, oh, I want to be a psychologist.
Yeah.
So, but then I dropped out. No, but I guess my point is I just wasn't happy doing that. Yeah, that's sad. That's sad.
I was doing great,
But
but
I dropped out. See, that sounds like a loser story. College dropout. Anyways, I guess something I learned. One thing I learned about not dropping out of college is, I don't know. I guess I guess I more learned shit I kind of already knew. Just do shit you want to do shit that makes you happy, and I learned more of how there are gonna be a lot of negative people out there trying to shut down your
Yeah.
like a lot. That the majority, it's like that's why I kind of quit my job too. It's like you have people that are like just working at a job that you just really don't want to be there. Kind of like already kind of kills your whole like momentum and motivation to want to work or to want to do what you love. I mean, yeah, there's some things where it's like do what you hate so that it motivates you.
Yeah.
And obviously I've gotten that before. Like when I had my last job, that's what inspired me to do YouTube again. And you know, it took being somewhere I hated to wait, what? Instead of saying dropped out, say you moved on.
you moved on.
Yo, I was
I
talking to
moved
a
on.
friend yesterday, and I was asking her like, what does she think about like college? Like, is it good or like? I was like, we were talking about like our experiences,
Mhm.
and she was like saying, oh yeah, you should follow your like your passion and shit.
Yeah.
And then and then I was like, wow, you almost make dropping out sound like promising.
Yeah.
And then she was like, wait, no, no, no. Now that you said dropping out, like, never mind. That sounds bad.
Yeah.
I don't. She's like, I don't want to be responsible for you living in a box in 10 years. And I was like,
Yeah, I know. That's like one of the risks I take too, because it's like, yeah, yes, I'm promoting self awareness. Um,
we are not promoting dropping out, guys. Don't
no,
drop out.
no. If you want to do college,
Then do it.
fucking do it. Do it.
But if you want to drop out, that's fine. That's fine. But please.
I didn't tell your ass. Like I said, it's a probable chance that you'll make it out there.
Probably like a 5%.
Anyways, I guess we can end there. The last thing I'll say is how we were saying how people are just out there doing it for their parents, stuff like that. Which it's a shame because I think you should be doing what you want to do and just fuck what people think, dude. Like just like
Focus on you. Do you?
yeah, and I mean that in a serious way too. It's because yeah, I just feel like it's sad when like someone's just doing something just for their parents, especially when you're just like being looked down upon, just being told what to do. Um, I don't know. This shit doesn't take you anywhere. Anyways, to change it to a different topic, it's kind of a dang. I'm trying to articulate my thoughts on this one. Okay, so ice raids.
Oh.
I don't know anything about that.
Okay, well, okay, let's just use the information we have now.
Yeah, we talked about this.
So I also saw a video about it yesterday.
Oh,
It was pretty interesting. Okay, so my friend Jessica asked me, "What are our thoughts about the current big ice raids that are going on?" And it's not even like not even that they're just big, but they're going on around their area.
Yeah, especially.
Yeah, especially here. And okay, so what are our thoughts about the ice raids? Do you think it's gonna benefit our country? If so, like how do we feel about it?
It's pretty like a gray area.
Yeah, it's a great it's a gray area. I don't know if anyone wants to say anything. But let me see if anyone's commenting anything.
Nah.
But okay, so the first thing I'll say about the ice raids, I say it's a gray area because fuck, it's like
It's very like
okay. So what do you know? Like I guess what do you feel?
I know almost nothing.
yeah, it's
Okay, well you just know they're deporting immigrants.
Yeah,
and
pretty
bringing
much.
up family.
Okay, what do you think about this? How do you feel about I guess to bring it up to the latest video I've seen and the most recent popular one? How do you feel about kids being separated from their parents? I guess because we were talking about it yesterday.
How they are separating families.
Yeah, how they are separating families, and we're talking about like the pros and cons, and it's kind of so. I guess in my position, I don't want people to get deported.
Yeah.
You know, obviously,
Well,
well.
you sure about that?
No. Okay. So, I don't. Okay, what I meant is I don't want people like parents and children being separated. Like, I
Yeah.
think that's sad. I don't think anyone wants that.
Well, yeah, but I'm not educated on this enough to say like
Yeah,
if
yeah.
it's right or wrong.
Yeah,
Because
obviously.
I have no idea like
Yeah, I
of
know.
the situation.
I know. That's why we're not trying to do that either.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be like, oh, this should happen. This should happen.
Well, yeah, but like I don't want to say like oh like the government's evil like why are
Yeah,
they
I know.
separate because I have no idea
Yeah,
like
yeah.
We don't
what the fuck
I know.
is
what's going on.
yeah so
So you're saying. So what you're saying is
Yeah.
they should deport all. Honestly, I think
So it's a
this
good
is
idea.
gonna be the lens. Like whenever you do become successful, people are gonna look at this
Yeah, they're gonna
podcast.
be like-
That's my goal. That's why I didn't tell you the questions
Yeah.
prior to the podcast. You know, I want to make you look bad.
So they can look on this
You
video like
tell me more about.
it's like you don't even let me speak. You're like so you want everyone to get deported.
he said it first.
Everyone deported.
Okay. Anyways.
Next topic.
All right. Just real quick, just on this one, because I do want to give an actual response to this one. Because we were saying, because the main reason to deport, the main reason to deport immigrants, it's because you know the more like the majority of what I see is, it's, well I mean, and in social media of what I see is like it's lowering our economy and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and
With deporting people or not deporting people?
deporting. No, not deporting people.
Yeah,
Yeah. Not deporting people. It's just like I guess lowering our economy and stuff like that. Therefore, again, and we were saying this earlier. Um, there are like you know how they say, oh, they're taking away our jobs and shit.
Yeah.
Like that? Has anyone say anything? No. Okay. Anyways, there are people saying, oh, they're taking away our jobs. But Richard and I were talking about it yesterday on how. I mean, for the most part, they're taking jobs that nobody really wants to do, like
Yeah.
fucking picking,
Gardening.
yeah, like gardening. And it's not even that. It's just like they're not even charging like a good, like they're not charging a lot. They're just
Yeah.
like trying to make, I guess, like a basic living. Um,
Yeah.
but we're also saying how there are some people here who do take advantage of, I guess, you know, people who can't work, like taking a, what is it, WIC
WIC.
and
food stamps.
food stamps and I don't know why I'm laughing, but yeah, food stamps.
It's like you think this is fucking funny or something?
No. It's just weird getting into this topic because I
Yeah.
do think about it a lot, but I never really talk about it to anyone. So, like, I get. So I feel. I guess all I can say is that like, if you are wait, what's did someone say anything? Supposedly
Targeting
ISIS
those
targeting
criminal
those.
backgrounds and warrants.
Hmm.
Okay.
Oh, that's
I mean that seems more fair.
Oh, yeah, in that case, yes, but
what I heard.
it's just a gray area too when it's also just people just wanting to live here and just wanting to get a work, and because you know it doesn't change anything like whether someone's nice or not, but it's kind of sad seeing like someone like a family member, something that's like really nice,
Yeah.
you know, they're really humble, and they just get deported. Like it's crazy. It's pretty sad. Anyways, the what we were on is basically there are some people that do take advantage. I've seen people, not really seen, but I like for the most part I've just heard people and it's also talked about how they take advantage of food stamps. People, because the main point of food stamps and WIC is all that. That's for basic living.
Yeah.
That's so you can get on your feet.
Yeah.
That's like the main. That's why it was made. But there's people that just kind of use it and just kind of hope to get
Hold
a
on.
paycheck.
So what's the point?
What's the point of what?
Like, what's the point of this? Like the discussion?
Oh well, I mean, I'm just really answering the question. Like,
Yeah.
well, how do I feel? I guess I would say I feel like a bit of empathy for like because
Also, is it right or
Or wrong.
yeah? Are you trying to make it like is it right or wrong? Because
I don't know.
that's like a
I don't
completely-
really have an. That's why for me it's a gray area. I wish
Yeah.
I could be like, I wish I could have a full answer, but I guess all I can really do is just talk about it.
I think politically, well, from what it sounds, because
So what you're saying is
10 minutes ago I knew nothing of this. Well, I've heard of it, but like I knew nothing like details or like who's getting deported or if they have a criminal record or not.
Mm.
The only thing I've heard was that this was happening, like it was a thing.
Yeah.
But it sounds like politically it's a smart move. Like it's kind of a way to like clean up,
Yeah,
whatever, so that
but
the economy kind of gets better. But I don't know, like if you're talking like touchy feely, like oh like that family got deported,
Yeah.
or like my
yeah.
neighbor,
That's why it's great.
my neighbor from like 10 years got deported or whatever.
Yeah.
I guess that's bad, but if you see it from like the bigger picture, I guess it's a good thing for the government.
You're fucked
So
up.
you're
saying-
No, just kidding.
That's evil.
You evil man.
Trump, nah, I'm just kidding. No.
You heard it here now, folks. No, but yeah. So that's why.
Next time I'm gonna bring a Mexican flag on me.
No, oh my god.
Mexican hat.
Yeah.
Okay, we can move on. I think that's all I can say about that. I do agree with you. That's like my main point. Okay, this one's a funny question. This one actually made me laugh.
Is it what I think it is?
Yeah. Okay. Can we make fapping into an Olympic sport?
Yes. Yes.
What would be?
We were talking about this yesterday.
I don't know about Olympic. I'm
Yes.
pretty sure you can make it a sport,
But the thing is,
like a race.
No. Who can the fastest?
Yeah.
So there's gonna be like
Fastest
like,
man
I don't know if you heard
alive.
me, but it's who can fap the no. It's can we make fapping into an Olympic sport? Fap champions are out there. I appreciate the person who asked me this.
Or like the most times.
The most.
Who can,
I was
in, like,
thinking
10
like
minutes.
I was thinking who could like take the biggest nut, like
What
shoot
the fuck?
who can shoot the distance?
who can shoot the furthest. Yeah, who can shoot the furthest.
Okay, so I think what you mean is like to have like Olympic games around it,
Yeah,
Okay,
based on it.
but not like have it in the Olympics.
It's such
Yeah.
what's funny? We go from like talking about ice to talking about nutting.
Yeah.
Anyways, I can't take that one too serious. So we'll move on. Should it be one?
Maybe.
I mean, if it is, it should be censored.
It'd be like this. It'd just be cut down from the one
It's
part.
like in
so
the
it's-
dark web, like there's like a website for it, like it's all fancy.
Isn't there like the Pain Olympics? What is that?
Pain
You heard of that, right? Where they're like people hurting themselves and shit. Like,
No.
yeah,
That's
it's pretty nasty.
I just like nutty.
I just
The
like
nutty part.
I know. Just imagine you're just in your room, and you have what's it called? An epiphany.
Yeah.
Isn't that when you're like you have an idea or something
And
like that?
realization.
Yeah. Like what if like you're nutting, and you're just like wow, this is my life, and then you think, wait,
I can make a
this
living.
I can make a living out of this, and then like you turn on the montage. You're instead of going out for a jog, you have the Rocky hoodie, but instead like we have the TV right here, and instead you're just like trying. You have a target right there, just trying to make sure. Anyways, to move on to
It's like shooting arrows.
you're trying to aim far.
Yeah, you're trying to
Can't believe people are listening to this. All right,
Just stop. Just shut it off.
no, we have a good half. We have a good half hour. All right, we'll move on to the next question.
Half
Have
a
a
person.
person.
This could
Okay,
be on and
so we. So I just want your general answer in this.
I'm gonna watch it on my phone so we can have more views.
That's sad. Don't do that. Plus, the audio was gonna fuck up if you do that. So we kind of No, we didn't. I just want you to answer this question because this is from Ricky,
Yeah.
and this is actual. So he said, "Is college worth it today?" We already talked about it, but I guess in your just if you just had like an answer.
It's worth it if you're in a career where you definitely need college to graduate. But if you want to like open a business, if you want to be like a creator, if you want to be, I don't know, anything that doesn't really need like, I heard this the other day that business, you can't really learn business in college because it's like trying to learn football by reading a book and then going out and trying to play.
Yeah.
You know, like you're not gonna be in shape. You're not gonna know. You're gonna know the plays, but you're not gonna know.
You're
like,
gonna fuck up.
yeah,
You're
it's like
gonna fuck up a lot.
the only
too.
way
life.
that you can learn things like business is by actually going out there and be an intern at a company and getting paid like a shit amount of money
Yeah.
and just like being next to people that are doing business every single day, and then you can mirror whatever the fuck they're doing because if you're in college, everything's like a little, it's like a little bubble. Like if you fuck up, like nothing's gonna happen. Like you can start a club and then if it doesn't work, like no one cares. Like no one's even gonna know. But if you're in real life and you try to start a company or a business and you're trying to like actually like put money into the things that you're doing, then your fuck ups are gonna cost you money, and that's the only thing that's gonna make you understand and learn. And it really depends what your career is headed towards.
Yeah.
Like there's so many paths to success as there's people that are successful. There's as many, like
yeah, there is. There's like a
so every person that has ever been successful has done it in a completely different way. Like everyone has their own path. Like
yeah.
if you look at all the rich people, they all have like a different story.
And what I want to add to that is there's still being more paths being created.
Yeah.
There's not like, oh, I'm gonna take the same path he did. There's still being a lot more paths being created that that you could make for yourself.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say because so Ricky asked this question. So yeah, it really does depend. But if you want to do something that like if you want to be a comedian, I know Ricky has told me he wants to be he wants to be a comedian, and that's like awesome.
That's cool.
And you know,
I mean, then don't go to college.
Yeah,
Like, it's not for you.
yeah, and because like college isn't gonna teach you to be funny. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of like you're either funny or you're not. It's like the sad truth. But if you think you are funny, if you make your friends laugh, then I think you should test out your skills, and that can go with music as well. If I know some people that are doing music, but they're going to I know they're going to a music
College,
class.
no. See, like, okay, here's some real practical. I can't really roll my R sometimes, but like
Rio.
if you want to be a comedian, don't go to college. Like, get an Instagram account, get a Facebook and YouTube account, and then post shit every day. Post whatever you think is funny. Like post, write things, and start like go out and like tell jokes to people, like random people. Make YouTube videos, make Instagram like content with like a picture and a caption on it, and then. I mean, that's how you're gonna know if people start following you and people start thinking that you're funny. You'll get famous, and I mean that's all you need to be a comedian. But
what about comedy clubs?
Like, dude, that's
I mean exactly.
You could head out to comedy clubs. I'm not really sure if you're trying to. I'm pretty sure there's some here in down. I think I've looked that up before. There are some, and I think
stand up, right?
Stand up. So I think people should be doing that if they want to pursue something like that.
Yeah.
So it really depends. It's just what you think you want to do. I'll move on to the next question. But is there anything else you guys want to add to it?
No, I have another question on my phone that someone else asked.
Oh, what do you want to? What do you want to?
It's stupid though.
Go ahead.
Okay.
We're unlimited to what we want to talk about here.
Oh shit! I gotta go.
It's fine. If you need to go, just go.
Oh, you're staying.
No.
Great job.
Okay, so my friend asked anonymous.
No, I want to know who this is. I want to expose their dumbass. No, I'm just kidding.
They said, "Why are you such a cutie?" Also, what's your gym workout?
Is that
So I guess that's for like all of us. So you can answer first since you gotta go.
But I would have answered that if it was just for me, though. Ah, let's be honest.
He's
here.
like, who? Who out of us three are you calling a
I
cutie?
know.
Go
Who?
ahead. Why are you such a first? Why are you such a cutie?
I don't know why I'm such a cutie.
And then what's your gym workout?
Okay, I don't have a gym workout. I
You
just work out.
That's
Just
right.
work.
I'm
just work
gonna
out.
assume it's for you.
Yeah,
right.
it has to be for you.
And
Why?
I don't know. I mean,
You're big too. Let's go. Let's flex on you.
I guess.
Oh, fuck.
No.
About it.
I don't know. I guess I would just say work out.
Just working out.
Eat healthy.
You didn't answer the first question.
Why am
Why
I?
you-
why
Why
you
is
such
I don't
a
know.
cutie?
Don't do that. I don't know. I don't think I'm cute. I mean, I'm growing the fucking homeless beard.
Show it up.
Huh?
Show
Oh
it
yeah.
up.
So I'm growing the. I've never mentioned this on Instagram, but I'm just growing it out for a year. But honestly, I think I'm gonna shake it fucking December.
Ah.
Well,
What year, bro?
well, it's like there's times where like I will want to talk to someone. I don't like a girl. Like I see someone that I happen to find that's pretty, and it's like obviously it's like there's confidence. Like oh, you gotta be confident and shit. But half of it is just like you also gotta not look bad. Like
Not
scrubby
even,
and
bro.
shit.
If she
No.
really loves you,
Okay. That's if you have a girlfriend already.
She'll love you with your homeless looking
Yeah,
ass.
yeah. No.
No,
Anyway.
she won't.
Yo,
No, she won't.
See,
Shave.
so
Shave.
yeah, so you go.
what's up, man? How you doing?
She's like, "What's up?
Yeah.
What's up, bro?"
Anyways, I don't. I mean, I think I'm okay looking, but
I'll give you an 8.
oh, thank you.
Damn, that's pretty high.
I know.
I know.
You really,
Thank you.
you really like him.
Hey, it's like an 8 out of 100.
8 out of 20.
Alright,
Show the
next
beard.
question.
Okay. Well, I mean, they did ask for the gym, right? Gym.
Yeah,
What was it?
yeah.
I just follow. I have an app that I use. That's pretty much it. That's all I can say. I just drink a lot of water, and I have an app that I follow, and I always just try to work out. Preferably, I like to work out in the morning and get that shit out of the way because then if I just do it later on, it just feels too forced, and I just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So I like to do it at 6:30 a.m. Typically 2 hours. Okay. This one's more for me. I just don't know how to answer it.
Was
Remember on your the second to last post, someone asked, uh, "Oh, remember when I said, oh, when I accidentally exposed my my
Oh, yeah,
project?"
yeah.
I don't know how to talk about that, because it's like it's not something that's finished. It's still something in development. So if anyone's wondering, I am working on a project. I just don't think I'll go too detail into it. What I don't even know what I can say. Well, I mean, do you think I don't even think there's really damages into talking about it, but because you know what it's about, you know what it
we
is.
both know.
Yeah, you guys both know. So
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, I just like zoned out for a second.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, what?
so. The only reason I don't want to talk about it, if I could, um, it's kind of like a okay. So I don't want to cause such a good idea where it's like oh someone's gonna take it, but at the same time I do feel like
It's a good idea.
yeah, it's like a good
Who
idea.
realistically, out of the people that are watching,
Well, I mean,
it's
no,
gonna be like, wow, I'm gonna do that.
no.
like,
I mean,
tomorrow.
it's not.
Copyright
Well,
that shit.
Yeah.
well, I mean, there's also people that are gonna watch it not live
Yeah,
as
that's
well. So all I can say it's related to college. Okay, yeah. So we're gonna have Richard leave, and it's just gonna be Gilbert and I for a good 20 minutes. I like the people who are still here. Like, there's been like a consistent amount of people watching. So yeah, I am.
Yeah, well, it's like 1,000 people, right?
300 actually.
Not 300 people.
All right, man. Later, thanks. Um, don't fucking kiss them. Anyways, um, there's not too much damage. It basically just correlates. I'll just say I'm making a brand, a clothing brand.
That's right.
Yeah, it's like I wish I could say I don't know. There's a lot I can say, but I'm really in love with the process of just making the brand. He's seen it as well.
Pretty lit.
Yeah, for the most part, for me, it's like I like doing it, and I'm still working on it. I'm still writing down ideas on a little notepad. Yeah, so that's my project. It's a clothing brand that it's still in development. I'll go on it probably on the next podcast when I have more to talk about. I just didn't really think this was gonna be a asked question, so I'll move on about that. Okay, so this one's more on. This is the last question. Um,
Yeah. Really?
well, no. This isn't the last question, but someone that I asked. I have questions like I've written down. That
Okay,
we just,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
So someone just said the topic of fantasy books, but I decided like edit it a little bit because it's like there's not much. But I guess what's your importance with reading fictional books? Because I know I understand that you've been reading a lot. I mean, I want to say so have I. I have, but I don't like. I don't know. Like back then, it would be. I find my past a little bit cringy, like a year ago cringy, because it's like I don't like being like, oh, I read and you don't. uh, I'm saying that was like back then, but obviously
Yeah.
now, yeah, like yes, I do, and I do find a lot of importance in fictional books rather than nonfiction. But I guess in the sake of like you answering the question, what's like, do you read fictional books?
Not really.
Not really.
No. But I was reading a lot during the whole school year.
Mhm.
So I think that was last September to maybe June.
Yeah.
So for a whole year, I was like, okay, I'm gonna read, and I read like all these books, and they completely changed.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Uh,
I'm sorry. Someone called.
they completely changed my perspective on everything. But they were all nonfiction.
Yeah.
They were well, that's classified about what they were about. But they were all nonfiction, and they were like really practical advice on things
Mhm.
that you could do to improve your lifestyle. It was that kind of books,
So
and
like self help.
kind of yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I well since I myself I don't know if anyone wait
Yes, Kama
what is
Sutra.
I don't know what that is.
That's like the Indian.
I don't know what that
It's
is.
like a book with like a bunch of different like sex positions.
Really? I
Yeah,
gotta learn that. I mean I gotta read that.
I think
Do they have an audiobook?
I've taken a sneak peek at it, and I no, well, yeah, I'm not gonna give details.
So what you're saying is
Ah.
no, I'm just kidding.
No, yeah, but I've definitely read a lot of nonfiction
Mhm.
recently, and now it's completely changed my perspective
Oh yeah, no,
to
definitely.
so that now like I'm like okay, I'm done reading books and I'm actually doing things. That's why I
Mhm.
started posting, like getting more out there on social media.
Yeah.
Even though it's so weird for me to like
Yeah, because you're getting out of
get
your
in front of
comfort.
a camera, yeah, and it's
No,
like
same here. Like literally at the beginning, if you watch the beginning of the podcast, I was like shy because I was like, all right, how do I? Because at first,
all right, guys,
no, because
we're doing a podcast today.
because I was treating it more like a video,
Yeah,
and eventually I don't want it to be that. I want it to be people having a like conversation and just like have it be
no, I'm gonna
meaningful.
go live on Instagram. Fuck it.
Are you? Yes.
How do you go?
Okay, so my experience with fictional books and like what I find the importance in, um, I feel like there's
Oh
like a lot you
shit!
could take in. What's going on, everyone?
You are now live.
Check out the typical podcast. We're live now. Go ahead. We're gonna be on for a good I don't know 40 minutes, probably 40 minutes left, 30 minutes. Yeah, check it out. All right, oh, you're live, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
okay,
live.
okay.
This one doing an ad.
No, okay, my bad. Okay, so the importance to me of like you can put it right here. There you go. That's yeah, there you go. That is right.
Well,
Okay,
hold on, move it over here too.
right here. It's
I
gonna
wanna be
fall
seen
down.
or
My
something.
bad, guys. Right here.
Yeah,
Look. Okay, we're good.
yeah.
All right. So my thoughts on fictional books.
What the fuck?
Oh shit! No, it's gonna fall.
Wait.
Okay. I'm just gonna hold it right here. If that's does that work?
Yeah,
Okay. So my thoughts on fictional books. It is important because you learn a lot
very
more.
interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. It's. I feel like 'cause, well, first I would say I got like a YouTuber to want to motivate me to read,
Yeah,
and he I'll just say who was one of them, but I know I watched PewDiePie when he did his book reviews and stuff because I'm like
yeah,
that's cool because at first I always thought like because I didn't read that much in high school. I barely read. The reason I started reading is because I somewhat became like jealous of just like people like whenever I would hear a story, I'm like, dude, that's awesome. Like that's not like, why isn't that a movie or some shit like
Yeah.
that, you know? But so I basically just started just to read because I was just like, do you want to hold it or something like that?
No, no, it's fine.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I basically just saw the importance of reading because it's just what's in the story. I feel like that's way more impactful than someone just spoon feeding you. Just like,
Well, I think it depends how you like to learn.
yeah,
And well, for me, like fiction doesn't do it for me. I need like practical advice on like you have to do this, and like if for me it's better if someone just tells
I
me
like
like
both.
on
I
a
like both.
YouTube video like
Yeah.
here like do it like this,
Hmm.
and then that's how I learn. Like you have to almost like walk me through it because me reading a story and getting
I
like
get
a
what you
life
mean.
lesson
Yeah,
out of it.
yeah,
It's like okay, like
yeah.
that was a cool story, but I didn't learn shit. Like
Yeah.
what do I do then?
I think I plan on making a video about this too, but I think it's just, what's up? Oh shit.
Hey, what's up,
To the
Thomas?
people to the people watching this live, if you want to check out the podcast, it's right here. It's on your bio, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on his bio. Check it out. It's a typical podcast. That's all I can say. Anyways, back to the topic.
They're here to see me. This is my
This
Instagram
is
account.
my. This is my. Anyways, what I would just say is, I get the impatience of wanting to learn something out of a fictional book,
Yeah.
but I also think you should be patient because, I mean, in my experience, I have read books that have been probably more impactful than self help book because it's kind of, I don't know, it kind of contradicts itself when you're talking about something like basically like, oh, you should like get up out of bed and clean your room and shit like that.
Yeah.
And there's not really any reasoning behind it. Like some self help books do, but when you see like a story about someone that's basically on their lowest point,
Yeah.
I feel like that's how somehow you should describe yourself as, especially if you're looking for improvement on something. I think you should base your life off of someone that's like starting off low at their point, but is gonna do whatever they can to get what they want.
Wait, wait. So you lost me there for like a second. Like I
What?
don't know what the fuck is going on. So what's the point here?
The importance of fictional books, like
Oh, okay,
rather than
okay, okay,
nonfiction,
okay.
rather than nonfiction. Um, and people. Okay. Anyways, I got a lot. Okay, here. Um,
So,
did you stop going live? Or you're
no,
still
no,
live?
no,
Oh,
no.
okay, okay, okay.
Just like listen.
So I guess I do want to. I would put an emphasis on fictional books. I don't want to pull up a book here, but basically, yeah, because it's more it's more about just relating to the characters as well. Like when you see someone, obviously you don't want to relate yourself to like a superhero or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
What are you laughing?
Nothing.
You zoomed in on my face. You are, huh?
No.
You are.
Yeah, yeah. Next question.
Okay, next question. That's pretty much it. Uh, for the questions that were asked, I'll probably do this again some other time on the next podcast. If you want to ask another question, we literally take anything. We took a question about fapping and making that
Oh
Olympic
my
score.
god.
We make it about
That's
college
that's
and
great.
ice. Yes, that's great. All right. Let me see about the questions I asked. Okay. How's your time going here on the first podcast episode?
It's all right. It's all right.
So what you're saying is, no, I'm just kidding. Okay. Um. All right. This is a good question I thought of yesterday. So why? I guess for you, it's why do you think not a lot of people? You kind of answered this question before, but why do you think a lot of people are not going for maybe in this area? It's just entrepreneur positions. Like, why do you think it's like a huge stigma to just go for college? Not necessarily just go for college because we already talked about that. But I guess why don't you think a lot of people are willing to go for that we know of maybe in this area, or are willing to go for something entrepreneurial?
Well, that's a tricky question. I feel like um
Here, I can set it up right here.
yeah, why most people don't like entrepreneurship because
Oh,
it's
shoot.
fucking hard. That's the
My
only
bad.
reason. Like, dude, I think most people, it's not necessarily that they're scared, it's just most people don't like the idea of I'm gonna start this completely new thing by myself
Yeah.
and have everyone judge me for it and just like struggle every single day for something that I believe that no one else believes in
Yeah.
and be comfortable with that because that's really, really uncomfortable. the
It
idea
doesn't come
of
through.
having this huge dream and then saying like, "Oh, I'm gonna make it," and like having confidence in yourself. I think it boils down to that. Like a lot of people don't have the confidence to say like, "I'm gonna build a business," and like I'm gonna start my own brand. I feel like a lot of people prefer to go through college first
Yeah.
and get experience and get like know a lot of people and build a network because and that's a smart move. I'm not saying like I'm saying entrepreneurship is stupid until you make it.
Yeah.
It's the stupidest
Yeah.
thing you can ever
It really
do
is.
because you're making shit money. You're eating shit food because you don't have money. You don't have friends because you're so focused on your work. And everything points in the wrong direction. And I think that's why people don't want to do it because it's just not a good idea unless you work off your ass every single day,
Yeah.
and then once you make it, then it's a good idea. Then people are like, wow, that's such a good story. You really were poor for like 10 years and worked your ass. Like, yes, I worked for
I
10
know.
years, it's like it's everything's wrong until it's you suddenly make it, you sell your
Yeah.
company and now you're rich. Then it becomes like, oh wow, that's inspiring. That's why a lot of people don't like entrepreneurship because it's that idea.
Yeah. Well, what about when it comes to because you say when you say entrepreneurship, you mean just anything in general that just has to deal with working with yourself, right?
Yeah.
Because when I picture entrepreneurship, because usually like the first thought I thought of entrepreneurship is just like sales marketing and shit like that.
Nah.
Yeah, that was like my first thought of it. But literally that means becoming a rapper, becoming a YouTuber or some shit like that.
Yeah.
What's
Oh
up?
wait. Yeah.
No, yeah. Okay. Do you want me to hold it?
No. It's just like I'm putting filters on it.
Okay. Okay. Why? No,
Just
no,
cause
no, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Anyways, what was I on? I was on. Oh yeah,
you thought it was like sales marketing.
yeah, and it basically just means I want to say it's like fighting for yourself. Really, your what's the
Another
word? Your another filter.
Yeah.
You're doing, yeah. You're promoting yourself. You're self advocating. But you are right. It's like at first it's like the stupidest thing you can do until you.
Yeah.
So so to basically add on, it's like with this podcast. It's like we're talking about being broke and shit.
Yeah.
I was gonna delay this podcast until like November or some shit. Until like yeah, because I was like, wait until I have like a camera and all that stuff. I'll have a bigger room and shit. And I'm like, that's
Yeah.
gonna take forever. It's just
Well, that's the thing. Like this right now, this is stupid. Like
yeah,
it's just us two like having
yeah,
a conversation in
yeah.
front of people. But and okay, who knows if you'll make it to like I don't know. Who knows if you'll be like a big YouTuber. But that doesn't matter. The point is like you're doing this because you like it.
Yeah,
You're doing it because you
yeah.
want to. And if in 10 years you're like a known YouTuber with like a million plus subscribers, then people are gonna be like looking back at it.
Shit,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
And then if it never amounts to anything, if you never become like a huge YouTuber, people are gonna be like they're not even gonna care anyway. Like see, they're only gonna care for like max like a week. They're gonna be like, wow, did you see those guys? That was stupid.
Yeah.
Like why are they doing that? They're just being like dumb on camera. But like who the fuck cares? Like that's what social media is
I
for.
know.
That like you're 19 or whatever. I'm 19. Like no one gives a shit. Like it's just literally experimenting. That's why being in your 20s is so opening to any kind of
Yeah.
experience. So
And-
do whatever the fuck you want on social media, and don't care about what anyone says. If you post something and they don't like it, don't worry about if you get 3 likes or if you have
I
2
know.
viewers on a video. Like who the fuck cares?
that's why yeah, I know. That's why I always come into. All right, can you stop fucking cussing on the fucking
No,
podcast?
fuck.
No, no, fuck. No, but that's why I always think like, just like, because you're always gonna have a lot of downers and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I think the best thing you can do is just get rid of those people out of your life. And it is hard to say because sometimes that's family members.
Yeah.
But if you can find a way to just like circle around them and shit like that, because I have like sometimes I have family members like another filter. Okay. Anyway,
Oh yeah. Wait. No, yeah, that one's fine though.
anyways, um, I don't know. Just all I can say is like fuck what people think, honestly, because I've had like like just when people are like just at the beginning like, oh, that's stupid.
Yeah.
You're not gonna.
Well, it's because it is. I mean,
Well, yeah, but that doesn't. I mean, that kind of gives connotation towards like give up. But
well, yeah. I mean, everything points to that, right?
yeah, that is true. That is true. I guess that's what
Yeah.
we'll end that question.
Yeah.
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 All right. What's
Yeah.
all right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, hold up. Oscar says, "You know you're a good entrepreneur when you got yourself a swimming pool in a swimming pool." Oh my god, that's from SpongeBob.
And a weed garden. I see you.
I
You
see
ain't
you,
slick.
Oscar. Yes, I see. We're gonna have I'm gonna have Oscar on the podcast in next Wednesday. He's gonna. You
Yeah.
saw his story, right?
Yeah, I saw a story. He
Yeah.
has a weed garden. Go buy from him.
Yes.
I think that's illegal. Never mind. Don't say that.
Look, I don't smoke weed, but I like the effort he's putting in.
Right, I don't smoke weed either.
No, I don't do it. Okay, we're almost done. Okay. This is my
What?
my bad. Okay, for yourself, because I have a different thing since we're both like I consider myself a creator. Like I want to do a podcast and like YouTube and stuff. What's
Shit.
all right. Can I get off? Can I go off?
Let's just looking awkward at
Okay,
the
okay,
camera.
okay. Anyways, sorry, he's live on his phone, and okay. The question is for you, and then for me. For you, what steps do you think you need to see, like for yourself?
Yeah.
This is just a personal question to you.
A personal question. to
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Go.
What steps do you need to see that you're seeing like, what's the word? That you're seeing like your hard work paying off. Like even if it's like the slightest shit, like right now, what do you need to see?
What do I need to see?
Yeah, to see that, oh shit, this is actually going somewhere and it's stopping you from giving up.
Well, actually,
Because my answer is different because mine's podcast and yours is business and
well,
and
mine
and
personally
company-wise.
is just waking up every day and feeling like I'm still patient.
Yeah.
That's what makes it for me. It's like the fact that I wake up every day and I grind at this shit.
Yeah.
And I grind and the fact that I can wake up the next day and feel like I can still do this, like whatever it is, like get out of my comfort zone, like try something new, learn something new. I feel like that drives me. That itself is like wow, like I'm still passionate about what I'm doing, and that drives me.
Yeah.
Like I don't need to see anything, even though I made my first dollar
You
like
did?
2 days ago.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah. I
okay.
sold something and I made like $36.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and I was like, fuck, like
Okay.
that really.
You said dollar. I was like, okay, this is $1.
No, yeah, it was. Well, I say my first dollar because it's the first time that I've.
No,
you know,
no, no.
It
no.
wasn't working with my dad. It wasn't working with
Yeah.
like I didn't get it for free. Like I had to do everything. Like
So do you want to
I
describe
worked
that,
for it.
like what it is you did?
Oh, that's a secret business. Y'all can't know about it.
No, just kidding.
No, I'm just kidding. But I did make. I made my first dollar.
That's fucking dope. That's like
Well,
the,
$36.
that's pretty
Yeah,
good. That's
exactly.
really
It's
good.
like-
That's really good.
And even though it's like a small amount of money, like I'm not rich or anything, but
okay,
it just feels good. Like I earned that.
yeah,
dollar.
yeah. Okay, so that's like, I mean, to me that sounds major.
The grind never stops.
The grind never stops. It
does
don't.
not.
What about, I guess, company wise? Company wise, because I know you want to. Is that a secret, or do you want to go on about that?
Company.
Yeah, because I
Um,
know you want to start a company, but well, it's not really a secret because you kind of already said in your
Yeah.
first one. We won't discuss well unless you don't want to like what your company is about. Let me see if anyone said anything. But is that what for your company, your upcoming company? What's the one thing you want to see? That's like, oh shit, like I have to do this. Like this can't wait later. This has to be now.
That I have to do.
That you want to do.
That I want to do.
Yeah, like you happen to see like, oh, like for me, it's for instance, it'd be like, oh shit, I just got like 10 subscribers here.
Yeah.
So because I said earlier, like my thing is different.
Yeah.
Like if I got 10 subscribers, I'd be like, oh shit, that means people are interested and people want to watch.
Yeah.
That's like that's basically my payoff of like just seeing people watch and shit like that.
Good dog filter. Yeah. Go on. I'm listening.
So that's for me, but I'm saying for you as your company, how would that go? How would that go?
I like this. Hey, what's up, Luis?
How would that go?
Well, see, the thing is, I kind of stopped with the whole like, oh, I want to build a company thing because it seems like I'm working more for a like
Self?
this idea that oh, like I want to have a company, but in reality, like I just want to learn. I would just want to make a platform where people can learn like
Mm,
online,
okay.
right? Like that's the whole purpose of it. Like the whole purpose is not
I
for me
still
to
picture
like
that as company though.
well, yeah, but the whole thing is
I know
like
what you mean
I'm
though.
not in this because like oh I want to build a company and I want to be like Bill Gates and I want to have
Yeah.
millions of dollars. Like I'm not in it because of that. I'm in it because like I generally like the reason the way I learned everything that I know today,
Hmm.
like even just communicating with people, was always like with my fucking laptop, like because I
Yeah.
saw YouTube videos or I read things online. Like I learned programming with my laptop, with my phone, like everything that I pretty much everything that I know,
Yeah.
I learned online. So like I want to open those possibilities to other people, like
Open up a conversation on
not a
that.
conversation, but like let people know like all around the world and that they can learn like with their fucking phone because nowadays
Oh hell
you
yeah.
get like I made my first dollar on my phone. Like I only used my phone
Yeah.
and I made $36. To me, that's like wow, like that's fucking impressive.
Yeah.
Like I spent $1 and I earned 36. Like I did everything just with my phone, and I think that's fucking powerful. Like,
Yeah. That's great.
and I want to expand that concept and make it more like let's use the technology that we have already accessible to us. What most people have,
Use it the right
and
way, pretty
exploit it.
much. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just take advantage of it.
yeah.
Because there are people that I don't know. How's it going? The grind never stop. Why is that filter? Okay. Okay. Real quick.
We're all serious
I
and
know.
with the dumbass
I
filter.
know.
That's right.
So we were on about. Yeah, I feel like you just got to use the right way. I guess when you're just using it about memes. What's that one song?
Meme machine.
No, not Meme Machine. But you know where it's like, oh, some niggas make memes, some make millions. It's, you know.
What?
Oh my
Oh
god.
yeah, 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 by J Cole. That's
Is it? Yeah.
yeah,
So it's like I can see how people use it the wrong way rather than just using it for wanting to do something.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess I can describe my position in it, like on that question. I guess for me, obviously, I want to make a living out of this, and but that's not like my main thing I'm looking forward to. Like,
Yeah,
I think the like when people message me, people are like, I think I've had like two messages or three messages like saying, "Oh, like I want to be on your podcast,"
yeah,
and I'm like, "Oh yeah, like that'd be awesome." My goal for the podcast is to get all different types of people. Like I want to get animators, I want to get chefs, just people that love what they're doing. And, you know, like I have Aaron. I messaged him like, and I want to like give his perspective on basically, because you know how he's a pilot, right?
yeah.
And so I want to basically give his perspective on just becoming a pilot. What's the process of it? Or like a makeup enthusiast. You know, like I'm really open to anything. I'm not really just specifically one thing. I would want to get. I have a big list. So yeah, I would want to get like a college dean, uh, or a professor, anything like that.
Yeah.
Nothing too specific. And but that's like for the future. But what I'd like to see is like I want to get a studio.
Right.
I would like to obviously I want to upgrade my equipment because right now it's just like a laptop that we're
That's
just
right.
running.
And we're sitting on little kid chairs.
Yo, show them the chairs.
I was
Yo,
showing them right now.
you're showing them? Okay, okay.
I
So
was recording right
to
here,
go more
so
on about
this
that,
is my hand.
yo.
This is the chair.
Okay, so yes, this is a tight and done it for myself. This would have just been a bed and a
We're
TV.
literally under his bed.
Yeah, so it's whatever's. I don't. I've gotten used to it. Obviously, I want to grow more into it. But anyways, my steps into the podcast and becoming, I guess, doing YouTube content. It's just you know, people watching it because they like it, and it's like I obviously I have to like it before they like it and shit
Yeah.
like that. So I guess that's like the next step for me. It's just so obviously I do see. Oh, I saw.
Yeah, that's the question.
Oscar, I'll get to your question right now. Fuck you. No, I'm just
Nah.
kidding. No, I'm just kidding. But like I guess that's just like my thing. Like I
Watch this on YouTube, bro.
yes, the typical podcast with the
We had 8 viewers.
yay. That's good. yeah, basically, and I have Oscar coming in.
Should I share it?
Yes, you should share it if you want. If you want, it's completely optional to you. Um, yeah, I basically just want to get different types of people here. I'd want to get YouTubers here. Um, I don't know. I'm unlimited to anything really. So that's like my thing. Just seeing from
What did we
where.
talk about here? Was it anything like super important?
What do you mean?
What did we talk? Oh yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah. Okay,
college,
yeah. I think it's work. Yeah,
entrepreneurship. Um,
I'll share it.
okay. Oh, I have a good one. So basically that's mine. Oh, let me see. What's your for what reasons do you think more mass shootings are happening? Oh, I was actually gonna cover this. For what reasons do you think more mass shootings are happening? Is it a question
They stretch out.
of proper, yeah, go ahead, of proper gun control, the mental health of people these days, or maybe the effect that
See,
society
stretch
has
out.
on your people? No.
It's like I'll just go like that.
So, do you want to answer that question?
What?
So, Oscar asks, for what reasons do you think is it why is there more mass shootings nowadays? Like that is something I have actually been seeing, and it's like, and dude, it's crazy. Have you seen the New York? How in New York, literally, you know how motorcycles will do like the gunshot noises, like
Yeah.
like literally in New York that happened, and people there was like a I saw a video on Twitter, and people were just like scared and shit, just running away, just out of a motorcycle gunshot. It wasn't a gunshot, but you know how like they're loud as shit,
Yeah.
and then
So the question is, why is there so many
yeah, like
shootings?
why do we think it's happening more? Is it mental health? Is it something that has to do with
Well, people have been saying it's because of video games. I don't think it's because of video
it's
games.
not because of
It's not
video
video
games.
games.
I saw the funniest, it's not the funniest, but it was really funny. I don't know if you know, but the first video game is like Pong. It's literally like you know the
Oh
ball,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's like literally the caption was the invention of all evil. It's like mimi.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
yeah, like what about what about World War I, World War II, and like all this other like all these
Yeah,
other
well,
shootings and
there
shit.
was
Like
already wars before video games.
yeah, so I think it's just like a boomer. Well, not just boomers, but because you know how there's parents that like never touched the video game, so like I can see how like oh yeah like video games bad, they're shooting in it.
Yeah. I mean, I think as weird as it sounds, I think it's just cool right now. Cool, as in like in the community of people that are like fucking crazy in their fucking head.
Yeah,
I know I'm cussing a lot.
I don't care. Go ahead.
Right, like it just became like a thing, like because before, like I don't know, well, it
So
wasn't
you're
that
saying
popular like nowadays where people can record it
yeah,
and it goes on social media like that, and
yeah,
it goes like
dude, that's sad.
completely like
Did you see the New Zealand? Sorry, to cut you off, but did you see the New Zealand shooting
yeah,
where he was just like subscribe? Remember, guys, subscribe to PewDiePie. I
yeah,
saw that shit. It looked like a video game, dude, and I'm not even being funny about that. It's just like it looks sad how like you have like someone get shot and they still live, and then they like
shoot him again,
he
yeah,
shoots him again. That obvious, it's like because some people are they're just like because you can't just always argue it's like mental health. No, some people are just bad. Some people are just
yeah.
like that's just like
Well, there's things that happen that
yeah,
make
yeah,
it
yeah,
that way,
obviously there's trauma
but
behind that.
I think before like it's like a trend. Like I think it's just a trend. It's just like cool for crazy people to because back then like it was still a thing. I imagine. I don't know about any previous shootings
Yeah,
before like the last I don't know 5-10 years, um, but I think it just became like oh, okay, so now we're doing this. Now we're making it public. Now we're sending a message to
yeah.
people because it's everything is so accessible through the internet
Oh
that
yeah.
it becomes it's like a public thing. Like everyone knows you did it.
Yeah. Can't you like
So
buy a gun at Walmart or some shit like that?
I think it's like BB guns though. I don't know if it's real guns.
No, I'm pretty sure I've heard it's like I don't know if someone can correct me, but can you buy a gun at Walmart? I'm pretty sure you can. I've heard. Um, I mean, I've seen a gun. But I've seen BB guns as there as well. But anyways, but would you consider like mental health though?
Oh yeah, I mean definitely. Or in what way?
Um,
Obviously, if you have to have something very wrong with you to go shoot up a place.
yeah,
That's like and like actually kill people
yeah.
like right there. People that you don't even know.
Let me see if there's any other or maybe the effect that society has on young people. So I kind of So is there like a certain like a pressure to do it? I don't know. I guess my take. Yes, there's. I would say there's a mental
Sorry,
health.
yeah, some young people. I don't really understand the question.
Yeah, I don't know if you could like rephrase the question on young people, but what I can't even assume of the question, but I guess what I would say is yeah, there's a mental health issue behind it. Like I don't quite see someone just shooting up just cause, or never have heard of that.
Yeah,
Like the New Zealand one, there was a purpose behind it. Like the purpose of I believe I'm pretty sure I'm right on this, but the purpose of the New Zealand shooting, it was to cause you know how the subscribe to PewDiePie thing was like a meme that was going on for a long time.
yeah,
Since it was so popular and it was like a trend, um, it was kind of like advertising, right? So when he said it, he knew just people saying that was gonna get people to watch it, and then from there, I guess his goal was to start like a World War III or some shit like that, which is like really
That's
crazy.
stupid.
Yeah, I know that is stupid. It really is.
All right, next topic because I don't know this kind of shooting thing is like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
pretty like straightforward. It's just like people are just fucking stupid.
yeah. There's like you can't really go on much about it. It's just I guess what I will say is just the New York thing that happened recently. Um, yeah, that was basically a motorcycle passing by, right? And it just happened to make like loud noises
Yeah,
and shit, and like that scared people. And I saw like the top caption, or someone reposted it. It's like when, like now we have our own country scared and shit for mass shootings, and I feel for that. It's like, because imagine you just go to the mall and just like a mass shooting just happens.
see, I think it's not necessarily that it's happening more,
Yeah,
or I'm not sure on the statistics, but I'm pretty sure it's just more like now people are more aware of it since it's on social media and YouTube
oh yeah,
and the internet
that's true.
and
That's
everyone
true.
knows about it. I don't think necessarily like no like oh there was no shootings before like 2010 or whatever,
Hmm.
and then all of a sudden now they're happening. Like why is this happening? I feel like it was already happening since like a long time, which
Yeah.
is the reason why there's been so many like people fighting for like gun laws and all that shit because of that, like because that's not new. It's not like a
Yeah,
it's
no,
it's
there's
been
definitely.
happening for a while, and I think mass shootings are not necessarily a new thing. It's just now everyone knows about it because it's a thing on the internet, and if it happens now, it goes public. Now it's like people are more aware of it, so it just has more exposure.
Well, okay. What about this? Do you think there should be a? Because I know the upcoming Democratic candidate, Andrew Yang, and Bernie Sanders. I think they're like wanting to talk about that more. But I
Yeah.
guess like, what's your opinion on like gun control? Like, yeah, it's like I guess
Honestly, I'm not big on politics, so
I'm not
everything
big.
that I'm
I'm.
saying here is just like
I know. Me neither. I do like to like talk about it just to like expose myself more to these
yeah,
things, so I can get more educated, and also so I can feel more comfortable talking about shit. Um, so I don't have to be like, I can't talk about that. So,
yeah.
but I don't. I feel like, well, how are people getting guns now? Isn't it like past? Isn't it? Don't you have to be like over 18 or something like
I
that?
have no idea.
Yeah, I have no idea either. I'll do some research on it, but guns bad.
Oh my god.
No, I'm just kidding.
All right, what's the next topic?
Okay, I think I have like two more questions here. Um, in your case, other than because you seem like you're self motivated
Yeah.
most of the time, uh, this could be literally anyone. Like, who inspires you?
Who inspires me?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Um, it's a very weird combination. Um, but if I had to choose like one role model, like a positive role model,
Yeah.
it would be my dad. Just like all sad about it, like classic,
No, yeah,
like sad story. No,
yeah,
no, no, like all inspirational. No, but it's my dad because, he's been through the worst and somehow he's over here like starting his
yeah,
own company
yeah, yeah,
from being like a fucking poor kid in some random place in
yeah.
Mexico, like driving trucks at 12 years old. Like, just imagine this, like a fucking like 12, 13-year old driving big ass cargo trucks, bro. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? So he can help like his family
That shouldn't even be a
like
thing, but
pay
it
for
is a
food.
thing.
or whatever. It,
Yeah.
well, it was back then.
No. What I'm saying is, like, you wouldn't want your kid to do that.
No,
But
obviously
it's
not.
yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Well, not like that. Like I wouldn't have him drive like a big ass truck.
No,
I
no,
wouldn't
no.
want them to struggle.
Yeah. That's what I mean. So, anyone else?
Well, yeah. Well, for my dad, like, cause
Okay.
he worked in factories and shit. He's done everything. Like he's tried absolutely everything, and that just like motivates me to think like it doesn't matter what the fuck I do, I'm gonna succeed no matter no matter what. Cause you just gotta have that confidence, and he gives me that confidence. Pretty straightforward.
Would you find yourself motivated?
What do you mean?
Like, okay, so for me, uh, I think I do motivate myself just seeing like, oh shit, like I'm doing something other than like what other people aren't doing, and
Yeah.
it's like it's obviously so. Sometimes it's like a bit of the opposite, like, oh, this is stupid, like I don't want to do this, but sometimes it's like, no, I should do this because like nobody else is doing it. Like I'm kind of offering something that's not, well, I'm not offering something new, but I'm offering I guess something that's not like popular around here. Not popular, but
Oh, you mean like that no one else here, like in South San Diego, really does
well,
YouTube?
no, it's not really about that.
Because that's a thing. Like
Oh well, yeah, that is a
that's something
thing.
to be proud of. Like
Oh well, yeah, in that case, yeah, I don't really think about it too much.
yeah.
That's why it's like more the opposite.
By the way, if you know any the people that are watching,
Yeah.
if you know anyone else in South San Diego that's trying to do YouTube like this dude, like hit him up
Please,
because you know like I at least I don't know anyone else that's been like, oh, I'm gonna just I'm gonna go do YouTube now.
Yeah. Well, I'm
Like
actually
here.
yeah, I'm actually gonna start doing I'm gonna have two channels now.
Yeah.
One of them is gonna be like on improvement, reading and like exercise and all that stuff. The other one's gonna be just like comedy and shit like that. I wanted to just expand, and it's honestly whatever I enjoy more. Like if I enjoy more, like helping people and also having people laugh and shit. You know,
Yeah.
I've always wanted to explore both of those. Um, anyway, what was the question? Oh, I guess motivation wise, like who inspires me and stuff. I don't know. I like to like think of like when I watch like Joe Rogan podcast or the HG podcast. I'm like, dude, that's awesome. Like I want to have a conversation like that. Like I want to spark conversations within a podcast. Um, that's what kind of gets me to want to have like a lot of people, like different types of people
Yeah.
on the podcast. So it's definitely like a lot of different people. And then I guess for me, also like people I know, it's like it'd be my mom, like because she started off. It's pretty like sad because she started off at Honduras and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And she was
yeah.
like really poor, and like she came here. She got deported, and then like but she managed to come here and stuff like that. But she had to go through like a huge struggle just to get over here and just do all this stuff for us. So yeah, so I
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
pretty much.
I think a lot of people here like relate to that.
Yeah,
kind of story.
yeah.
It's like,
I think it's nothing new, but it's also really special.
the
Though.
things that we said, like everyone down here in this area is like, oh yeah, like
Yeah,
same story. Like
yeah.
my parents were
You
like
ain't special.
somewhere in
Nah,
Mexico, and then they struggled
Yeah.
to get here, and now I'm here, and now I'm like busting my ass, and I'm doing college or whatever.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the last question, and we're almost fucking 2 hours. Hell yeah, that's right.
There you go.
My intro was I am the official alleged youngest podcast host out in the game.
The game.
I said alleged though, because I'm not. I don't know. I don't know if I'm the
Yeah,
youngest. I think I am.
Nah.
That why it doesn't matter. I said alleged. I'm not taking it too serious.
For a podcast.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure there's some 12-year-old out there being like, I want to interview Elon Musk.
are they the?
Well, I don't know, but they're in the game.
I'm gonna get Elon. I'm gonna get Kanye West here.
Kanye West.
I am. Look. What makes
That's
me
stupid. Just give up.
kill yourself? No, what I was gonna say
Shut the
is
camera off right now.
this whole podcasting is a bad idea. I shouldn't do that. I'm just
Just
kidding.
give up.
What?
You're never gonna make it
Shut
big.
up.
You loser.
It's getting to my head now.
You phony. You big fat phony.
All right, guys.
Don't watch.
Sorry,
Hey, look, another
sorry.
people join. Just
Uh,
don't join. Leave. Just leave. Just shut off your laptop.
and
Turn off your phone.
they're about to leave right now.
Go do something for.
Let me get to the.
He's a loser. Don't watch
Shut
it.
up. You know what makes me think?
No.
Shut up. You know what makes me think is
No, you shut up.
Shut the fuck up.
No, you shut up. All right, I'm dead.
All right, guys. I'll see you on the next podcast. No, I'm just kidding.
We gotta make this
How
entertaining.
I know, but you know, I know how Lil
They left. Oh wait, they're back.
the,
What's up?
how Lil Pump was able to be on Kanye. Isn't like Lil Pump like our age, pretty much. Obviously, he's like 19 or something like that.
Oh, like that they. You were saying that the other day that they did like a collab, like a song together or something.
Lil Pump and Kanye. Yeah, that's not old. It's the one that goes like, "You're such a fucking hoe. I love it." Yeah, it's that one. But what motivates me more is like, it's like he can get someone. Obviously, it has to do with music, but and stuff like that. But it'd be awesome to have a big goal of like, oh, I want to get Kanye on the podcast, or I want to get this artist on the podcast.
Yeah.
That's obviously way later on. But for now, I want to start small and get people.
Nah, honestly, well, I don't know. I say like shoot him like a text on Instagram and be like, "Yo, I'm starting out," and then if they never answer, like if you ever make it, be like, "Oh, so now you want to come after?"
Yeah.
You know?
Well, at the same time, I want people to be more than willing to be on the podcast.
Yeah,
Like, I
I
don't
know,
want
I
to
know.
like, hey, do you
Have
want
to
to?
ask him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. For now, it's like asking, but it's also because I'm like genuinely interested if this person like I have Angel coming on to the podcast next week because he's making music and stuff like that, and he's
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, yeah, and yeah, ain't the angel that was here. Well, those two angels here.
Bayo. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
Bayo.
he's the one that makes music.
Huh?
He's the one that makes music.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yo, we have to jam together. You got your piano. I got my guitar.
I know, I know,
He got his guitar.
dude. He's making music and out there and stuff, and I'm like really proud of him. Like I always like try and tell him like, dude, like if anyone I can see making it out there, me doing music, it's you because I always see you making music and shit.
He's been grinding for
Yeah,
like
he's
2 years.
yeah,
Like, obviously
like,
he's gonna make
yeah,
it. Like,
yeah, yeah, dude.
the
No, he's
fuck?
gonna make it, and I'm always trying to like express that, like just don't give up, like keep doing your thing, bro. Like fuck what people have to say. So he's gonna be on the podcast. I want to ask him more of like what's like the inspiration behind a single song
Yeah.
because his song.
Sexo.
I haven't heard that one. I haven't heard that one. Not too much. I've heard nothing though, and I like that one. Is it like a 3 minute song?
I haven't really.
You should listen to it. It's pretty good.
Look at his music.
It's pretty good.
Start, though.
You should. Anyways, yeah, I want to have like people like that. I also have Alonzo coming on because he's also working on the album
He
cover.
does like skits and stuff. Yeah.
He does that, but he's also working on the album cover. And I
Yeah.
guess I want to interview more about that. But yeah, like I want to get different types of people, like basically like makeup enthusiasts, just like or like dancers or just like shit that makes you happy and just like alive. But I also want to be funny with it and shit like that.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's like I'll blabber on about that on the next podcast. But um, there's also personal, but it's like honestly, you could say whatever the fuck you want about it. So when I picture my past in high school, which has only been like a year, right? I'm always like thinking,
Just look straight
did
at the
someone say
camera.
anything? So when I think of like past in high school, like senior year, junior year, I think of it for me as cringy. It was cringy for me because I've like managed to read.
Just look straight at the camera. Just talk to the camera. Yeah, yeah. Go
Because I've like managed to read and just learn more about myself throughout like a year and a half. Like I feel like now is the moment, not like this whole year and just like after I became 18. It's kind of weird, but it's like a coming of age thing. Kind of sounds like, but I feel like I've learned more about myself and just like managed to let go of so much ego and so
What's
much.
up, bro?
What is it?
It's you again.
Oh, hold on. Anyways, I managed to drop so much ego behind me,
Yeah.
and so much shit I've like been wrong about, and it's just like, cause back then it was like, in my head it's a little personal, but it's like not personal like I just never even talked about it, but it's like for me, I always wanted to be so right about things, not so right, but just uh like I've always wanted to have like be in the spotlight. Um, I guess one like that's so much like in like even if I was hidden because I know I didn't show it that much, but it's like so that's what makes it cringy. It's just like there was so much like ego that built everything. You know how we talked about how back then it was more about like you know how in university you started you were saying how you that's when you actually started to feel more conscious. Like,
Well, actually, it started when I got to high school.
mm, well, yeah, okay, that's why.
Yeah,
But in my case, it would be more of
yeah. For you, it was definitely after high school.
yeah.
Yeah,
For me, it was definitely after high school because I started being more conscious of like what I put out there, um, what I say, what I do, like the reasoning behind everything. So, but when I think back now, even in like current like latest relationship, I can see like why they didn't work out, why like or like my thought process behind everything and shit like that. Um, so I would kind of say it was. I mean, it was a learning experience. I don't say it was all bad, but anyways, that's like
no, it was bad.
yeah, it was bad. You should you should definitely think everything there was cringy. I guess for you, like the difference between your mindset in like college now, um, between I guess I would say many years.
Yeah,
How do you look back at yourself?
in high school.
Yeah, I guess I would say.
I mean, I feel like everyone in high school is just full of ego. Like everyone's just
Yeah,
trying to like
dude, I know.
impress everyone else, and I get that. Like, cause that was me. Like I
Yeah,
was
dude,
always
that's why that was like me as well.
yeah. Like you won't sit with the other kids because it's weird. Like, I mean, that's just it. Like you just don't want to look dumb. You want to like impress people. You want to make people proud. You want to whatever it is that you do to like feel good about yourself.
Hmm.
It's just because when you're at that stage, like you like everyone has low self esteem at some point
Yeah.
at least. And for most people, leaving high school is like eye opening because it's like finally like I can be myself and I can start over like one that's why I think college is good because you go and then you're like you meet new people and you're like all right, I'm gonna try to like be someone else, like be myself, because in high school I was completely different.
Yeah.
I mean that's not necessarily me, like
No, no, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
still an asshole. Don't take me wrong, I'm still an asshole. I still like to work out. I still do like a lot of things that I
yeah.
like because I just like by senior year I was like I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna show up late today in like
Yeah.
my pajamas. And like I don't care if anyone says like, "Ew, what are you wearing?"
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck? I'm comfortable.
I know. I know. I can definitely agree on that, and I would more like to elaborate more. I think my ego mainly drive me, and it was also just like for the majority, most of the shit I wanted in high school, I don't want now. Like you know how when you picture like success, big ass house, big ass everything, a lot of
Big
friends,
ass booty.
like you want a big ass party and shit like that.
Yeah.
I was like forcing myself to think that I want that, but like really what I want is just to do what I want to do. Um, I don't even like talk to like the same people. I'm pretty sure a lot of people now don't even talk to the same people they do in like after high school and shit like that. And so I think I prefer, I guess for me, I don't want to say like I want a like smaller amount of friends,
Yeah.
but I'm more conscious and more like there's more what's the word? There's more thought into who I want as my friend, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Well, it's just maturing.
Yeah, it's pretty much it. That's kind of like the main question, like, because obviously for me it's like cringy, because it's you know how when people like, oh, like, hey, what's up, nice and shit like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I feel like sometimes I'm an asshole, but I guess for the majority I was like just called nice because I was like shy and shit, and I was just like my reaction to be like, hey, what's up, nice, like it would just be like laugh and smile, and then people would be like, oh, he laughs and smiles, like so he's nice. And I'm like,
Wait, so
no,
you didn't like it when
no,
people
no,
called
no,
you that?
no, no. I mean, my shit is called typical nice, so obviously I like it. It's like cool to just be called nice because I mean, for the most
Well,
part.
I think because at least in wrestling, like people will call you that just because you were nice.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. But
It's
I'm
just
saying
like
I'm saying there was two different like stories behind it.
yeah,
Like there was shyness, but there was also like, yeah, like
yeah.
nice, like because I mean you want to be positive and shit, but also you want to be positive towards
So I think that's why it started because you were always like so like active and like
yeah,
happy and shit, and that's why it was
yeah.
like oh he's so like nice because he because I think you were the person that like people would always look at and like you were
That
always
is
like
true.
happy.
That is true. I did have a lot of like I don't want to sound like all big and mighty, but I did have a good amount of praise. I would have people like, oh, I want to do what you're doing and shit like that,
Yeah.
and me back then I'd be like, oh, you just gotta do this and all that. And, well, I mean, I don't recall because I was like many years ago and I like deleted my shit, but Yeah, definitely. But
many years ago. It was like a year ago. It
no,
was
no,
like
no,
2 years
but
ago.
I would say like when I was like at my
My peak, my final form.
I don't want to say my peak, but when I was more extroverted
Yeah.
and out there, it was probably like junior year, probably. Um, Senior was like a little bit more depressing because it was just like it was no,
I
it
failed at life.
was, no, it was just
Everything
depressing.
sucks.
No, it was just depressing because it was just like
My wife left me.
my she took the kids. Let me see if anyone said anything. No, it was just depressing because it was just like, all right, what the hell do like I don't even know if I want to go to college, but anyways, I think I'm done. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Do you have anything else to add?
I'm good.
Any questions you have for me?
Questions?
Yeah, I plan on getting porn stars on the. No, I'm just kidding. People want to be so.
I'll do that in the future, at least once.
Yeah. Okay. I think. Ah, man, it was a pretty good podcast.
Okay, so I do have a question.
What's up?
Wait, there's another question.
What's up? Coach Rogelio pointed out in freshman year how even when you lost a match, you would still come out looking positive. From then on,
That's
you
true.
were. Yeah, that is
Bro,
true.
that that actually like that motivated me.
Yeah.
That actually I remember now. That thanks for pointing that out. That's
All right, we'll answer that right now, Mark.
because I remember like freshman year, like I would get so mad like if
Yeah,
I
yeah,
lost,
yeah.
but that was so immature of me. Well, except for my you know the one against Mar Vista where I had like my shoulder like
I
fucking
remember that crystal clear.
it was
Man, you were.
paralyzed.
Yeah, I remember. I remember. I was talking to Richard about this. I'm like, because you were kind of like a robot in this sense, like not wrestling.
Yeah.
You were wrestling pretty good. Because I actually thought you were gonna beat that person on your last
Dude,
match.
I was.
Yeah,
It's
you
just my
were.
arm
Yeah,
was
that's why
like,
I'm like
ah, fuck.
I feel yeah, because like literally the way I described is on your last wrestling match, you did really good, but it felt like you were a robot to the point where it looked like your arm just shut off. Like it was just like,
Yeah.
oh shit, like
Dude, I
fucking,
wish
I
I
ran out of
would have
battery.
recorded that one.
Yeah. I only have like pictures, but I don't have
Yeah.
anything like that. But yeah, I describe it as if you were a robot because literally you're wrestling really good, and your arm just shuts down, and it's just like, what the fuck, like move.
I remember how it happened. Like I escaped from like the bottom position, and then like as soon as I stood up, like I
Yeah.
went like that, like I ripped like the arms off,
Yeah.
and then like as soon as I like snapped it like that, I
Yeah.
felt it like oh fuck, like
Yeah.
my whole like left like torso and arm and neck right
Yeah,
here was
dude.
just like
I
oh, and
saw.
then I was
I
like
remember. I
it's
remember.
just like oh fuck.
Anyways, you're saying your freshman year?
Oh yeah. Like because I would lose a lot. Like I lost my first match. Like I
Oh
think I
yeah.
lost most of my matches freshman year, and then I would get so mad. Like I
We're
would get all
speaking wrestling
quiet.
here.
Yeah, wrestling. But honestly, this is good like life
Yeah.
advice. Like I would get so mad every time I lost, and then like I would just like completely like shut off everyone and be like, okay, I just need to be in my zone and like focus, and then you were over here like
Oh yeah, I kind of
fucking
remember.
like laughing and like talking to everyone, and I was like what the fuck? Like how can you not care
Oh, after
that you
losing and
just
shit.
lost? And
Yeah.
then I was like yeah, he probably just like doesn't care. But then with time, like I realized that it's more about like the team and
Yeah.
like I started not caring as much when I lost
Mhm.
because I realized the impact that it had like on everyone else.
Yeah.
And like if I lose, like okay, like I'll take the L, like it's fine. But I'm not gonna let that like bring my team down
Yeah.
just because I'm being a little bitch because I lost the wrestling match.
Yeah.
You know, like I'd rather like push everyone else and be like, ah, it doesn't fucking matter, like it's just a sport.
Yeah.
And like, you know, push them even though I just lost, like who cares?
Yeah. I think for me, when I did lose, and because it is true for the most part, like aside from saying like, oh, it's like being called Mr. Like, no, I like being called. I was like, oh hell yeah, I got a nickname and shit.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not even like a bad. It's a cool nickname,
Yeah.
and it's like, yeah, no, for the most part, I was pretty happy and shit like that. It's just like realizing more things. But anyways, my point is, Mr. Nice Guy, we're gonna get copyrighted.
I know.
No, but it's not even that I didn't care. It's just like I always had that thought behind me that like, oh, it's like I could either fucking like lose and have like a sad face on and like have people feel bad for me and shit like that,
Yeah.
and then they feel bad that they lost and shit. Or I could just like be happy and just like make people laugh and shit like that, and just like which would I rather prefer? Like which one is actually benefiting people?
Yeah.
Like even if I lost horribly, like I think I've had a match where I lost in like within 10 seconds and shit. And I remember, I think I said like,
Those
oh,
were the best ones. 'Cause I
yeah,
was
yeah,
like, all right, I mean,
yeah,
you know, the guy's better
yeah.
than me.
I think I wrestled. I don't know if I wrestled. I don't know. People say it was Mateo or something. I don't remember.
I think, yeah,
But yeah, I think he beat me in 10 seconds and shit. It's
dude.
yeah,
and
and
I won in 10 seconds. I was like, that's right, bitch.
yeah, yeah. And so I remember when I lost, I was like, all right, like I could be a little bitch about it and just like be negative and like getting mad and shit. But that's not gonna help anyone. Like that's not gonna boost my team up or anything like that. And then so I know I just kind of just went with like just be nice, just fucking be positive, smile and shit like that. And yeah, I feel like I'm delivering a message like be positive, but it's like I don't know. That's how I would describe it now. What I will say this about wrestling, it's like um because lately I've been doing swimming and shit, so it's
Yeah.
like weird transitioning towards
Hella
like
plug.
I know
It's
because
like, I swim.
I've
by the
been
way.
I've been swimming. Oh, I don't know if you could tell. No, I'm just kidding. But it's weird though, cause you only work out now, like you only do weights and shit like that,
Yeah,
and
like
you and
powerlifting.
yeah, and I get you through swimming sometimes, right?
Yeah, well, sometimes.
Yeah, yeah,
Because I'm usually lazy as
yeah.
fuck.
Yeah, but I'm sure you enjoy it though, right? Because it's like
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like something different.
yeah. So that's how it started off with me at first. So it's kind of weird transitioning towards like becoming like I would consider us like above average wrestlers, like at the time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we were pretty good.
Definitely.
Like we had a lot of conditioning. We had like always like I wouldn't say we were the best, but we were pretty good basically.
We were all strong as fuck.
Yeah, we were all strong.
We were over here taking like I'm 5'7", and I would beat guys that were like 6 feet tall, like
Yeah.
six pack. So we were all like good, bro. It's
Yeah,
just,
I
like,
know. The biggest motivator for me, and I think I've already like told this story too many times, is when I beat. Race has nothing to do with it, but like you know how when you picture like a buff like black guy or some
Yeah.
shit, it's just like oh shit. But I remember I had wrestled someone that was like really buff, really big. He had abs. He was ripped and shit. He was really strong. Yeah, I remember he was like
nigga tired as fuck.
yeah, but he at the middle of the match, I ended up beating him because he had no conditioning. Like he was heavy breathing on me, and I was like scrawny. I was like
I thought you were gonna lose that one.
I thought I was gonna lose.
Yeah,
I was
and
like,
I was
dude,
like,
he's
oh,
gonna beat me.
fuck.
I was like, he's gonna beat me, dude. Like, there's no chance. I feel like wrestling is like the main thing that motivated me to be like, oh shit, if I can do this here, think what I can do in football.
Yeah.
But then I quit football because it got boring. I don't know, it got
All
boring.
right,
for me.
so because I think we spent a lot of time on
Yeah,
wrestling. To answer the age old question, A or T.
oh, that one. I thought okay.
Oh wait, because oh yeah, okay, we already answered.
Let me see if I have any more questions. I'm pretty sure I answered all of them. Why do you
I like
think?
that one.
Which one? Oh, ask your titties.
I don't know. I mean, it depends.
It really does depend. Cause I'm more of a person that's like, this is gonna not get me girlfriends anymore. No, I'm just kidding.
I prefer your personality. So if you're a great person and I see I like everything. So I only date. Well, never mind. I can't say that, but 300 pounds and up is my preference.
BBWs.
Yeah.
Yes. BBW.
So if you're 300 pounds, nah, never mind. I can't even say that because she's probably watching.
Here you
Yeah.
go. But you're joking though. It's like. How much
Right, I'm joking.
Okay, if I were to answer, uh, am I an ass man or a tit man?
It's
I
so hard to answer.
it is. It's not so much as I care. Like oh shit, like people are gonna watch. It's because well, first and foremost, full disclosure to my future wife, if she watches this, I do appreciate because you can have someone hot as fuck, but it's like personality that makes them hotter or like cuter or whatever, anything like that. So I don't want to like I don't
That's
want to.
bullshit, guys.
That's bullshit. No, because I'm being serious. Like I've met people that are hot or cute, but they have like a basic personality that I just don't enjoy. It's just not fun. But in the sake of ass or titties, just choose.
Honestly, for me, I'll be honest, like it fluctuates on a daily basis. So I have like days for it. So
Yeah.
there's like a schedule.
So ass or titties.
Yeah. So
Oh,
Monday,
okay. I know what you mean.
like every day is different.
Yeah.
So I would say like Monday, Wednesday, Friday,
Yeah.
ass. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday,
Titties.
and then on Sunday, it's just like surprise me.
You know, for me, it's usually feet. No, I'm just
Ah.
kidding. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. It's like I like both. Like I like.
You gotta have a schedule, bro.
I don't think I need it.
You know, like in Latin,
Yeah.
Monday translates to chest day.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's like the workout calendar, the meathead calendar. It translates.
There's gonna be like girls watching this, like thinking to get educated and shit, and be like they're talking about ass and titties.
Well, we already talked a lot of serious
Yeah,
things.
yeah. This is the last topic.
This is a great way to end it.
Yeah. To answer the question,
It fluctuates.
yeah, I prefer both.
There's a schedule.
Not for me, I guess for you.
Yeah, there's a schedule. He has a schedule too. He just doesn't know it. He's not self-aware.
I guess I'll say ass. I don't know. Yeah, yeah, I'll go with ass. I'll go with ass. All right, guys, that's gonna be it for today. Thank you again for watching. If you want to subscribe, go ahead. Appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys asking the
So, I
question.
think your thing should be like, don't subscribe.
I did have that before. I was
Yeah,
like,
really?
yeah,
Don't subscribe.
it was subscribe for less. I mean, it was whatever. Anyways, thank you guys
Gee,
again
it's
for
whack.
watching.
Don't subscribe.
Yeah, don't
It's
subscribe.
funny if I say it, but if you say it, it's just like.
Yeah, it's like fucking poser.
I
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I am your official alleged. Wait, hold up. This podcast was entertaining. I was def. Hey, thanks again, Thomas. I really appreciate it. That's lit. When I hear that shit,
It
all
really
right.
helps.
Yeah, it really
Even
does.
though this is not mine, it's his.
Yeah.
but-
Thank you again. I really appreciate it. Hell yeah, I'm working on guests right now. Okay, I'm gonna end. I'm gonna end it right now. All I can say is, homies, stick. Yeah, pretty much. It's sticking around, but also educating ourselves. So all I can say is, yes, this is the official youngest, official. This is your first alleged youngest podcast host because I don't even know how to end that joke. All right, thanks for watching, everyone.
Great end.
All right,
That was
thanks.
great.
All right,
Great
all right.
outro.
Say bye bye.
No,
Say bye bye.
never,
All right,
never will.
goodbye, y'all. Thanks again for watching.
All right, stop. Just stop.
All right, ended it. All right. Later. Bye.
Well, you know what? Some girl